let's begin with a couple of things that I have prepared, and then we will go as different topics will come up, right? The idea is when you have about 2 years of experience, that's kind of the perfect timing for you to start looking for a next job. And as I said before, there are a couple of things that you will be doing, like understanding what's going in the market, and then picking up one of the skill that you can add or enhance. The way I describe this is, let's say you had a house that you rented 2 years ago, and then in last 2 years you already have worked on this house. You replaced some of the appliances, redone your kitchen, and some other, maybe you built a new room or something, right? You have made enhancement, but your employer is still paying you what you worth 2 years ago. I What we are talking is how you can repaint this house, exterior, interior, do a good outside lawn, and maybe do some repairs, and maybe bring one or two new appliances, which is where I kind of learn a new framework or do a portfolio project, something like that. And then market yourself, where you're creating all a list of everything that you have done, and then you're translating that into a story that you can tell in the interview. For example, a typical question in all the interview that you probably have seen is, tell me about a challenging situation that you have faced. Um, I call them frequently asked questions. And one of the things that you could do is to prepare a list of these type of questions, prepare your story around that, and then you be ready there. Um, so um, so once you understand the job market, once you decide what you want to do, it's probably going to take a month, 2 month, 3 month for you to build that foundation. While you are building that foundation, the next thing to do is to start building your connection. And that's where whatever we are talking to today, that's where it comes in the picture. There are three type of people that you want to connect with. From the platform perspective, LinkedIn is number one, but you could do the exact same thing with Twitter. Hi Ankush, thank you so much for joining. And this is an open space, so please feel free to request the mic, and it will be automatically assigned. And once again, thank you so much for joining. We are talking about a group of developer who are like 2 3 years of experience, and that's when they have earned enough experience skills that they can start looking for a new job, next job. And the discussion now is around how they can use networking to boost their chances. And this is where so that's exactly where I was when you joined. So I just wanted to bring you on up to this speed. So for networking, LinkedIn is number one. There are other platform as well, such as Twitter, and many more. We will focus on LinkedIn, but you can do exact same thing with other platform as well. So there are three type of people that you want to connect with, specific to when it comes to the job searching, job hunting, or creating your prospect there. Number one is recruiter. Number two is hiring manager, and number three is developers in other companies. Recruiters is kind of your the, the first barrier or first entry, right? It could play both ways, where they are very active on these social media platform, where you can easily find them. They post job, um, and they're always looking for a right candidate, good candidate. So when they post job, even though you're not ready, you can start liking them. You can start referring your friends to them, just to build the rapport with them. Hi Rishabh, welcome. This is an open space, so please feel free to request the mic, and you will get it. Thank you so much for joining. So we're talking about networking. There are three type of people to network with: recruiter, hiring manager, and developers. We're talking about recruiters. There easy to identify in LinkedIn, and then it's easy to build the rapport with them. They anyway want you, right? They anyway want you to connect with. Their number one job is to find the right candidate. So the friction is less. And there are two type of recruiter you will find. Hi Ben, thank you so much for joining. So there are two type of recruiter that you will find. One is a recruiter from the company itself, and then the recruiter they who work for a consultation company. Both of them are great. They will post job. You can help them find if that job is not for you. You can refer your friends, and they always appreciate because, as I said, their number one job is to find the right candidate, and you can build the rapport like that way. They can also, so once you have enough connection with them, once they start recognizing you, and we will talk what are the different mechanisms that people to use to build a rapport. The second type of people are hiring managers. So after recruiter, you see the hiring manager. They are the people who have a team, and that's the team you will join if you are selected for that. These people are not that active, like not all the people, all the hiring managers, they're not very active, but if they are, you can find them. And again, um, it's typically work this way that if you have a company that you are interested in, then you can look for the company and then the people who work in the company. My friend, my colleague has used this exact strategy to get into Workday. So he wanted to join Workday company. It's a company who does who has a software that big companies use as a replacement for ERP type software. So he had that in mind. So he started looking for the company. He started building the connection, and then finally he found the person who was the hiring manager, and he was able to get a interview call. And once he got the interview call, he did good. So your foundation has to be there, but the networking helped him. So those are the second type of people that you want to connect with. Then the third type of people is developer in other companies, either at the same level as you are, or one level up or one level below you. So if you're senior, you want, sorry, if you're intermediate, you want to connect with junior as well as senior. So you build that community, you build that connection with the people in another company, and that once you have those connection, then you can get benefit in multiple ways. One, they can tell you if there is a new opening in their company, or they can even you again. um, we'll quickly talk about the strategy to build this connection very quickly, and then I will stop talking, and then I will ask if anybody will want to add to what I'm saying, more details, right? So there are it doesn't work this way all the time, but it's a very good start, right? It's a very good start, that the rapport that you can build with any person on LinkedIn is through a layered approach. The layer one, the step one, you're liking somebody's post, and then the second one is you commenting on somebody. Oh my God, my best day, Graham is here. Thank you so much, Graham, for joining this. Uh, we're talking, I'm nervous already. We're talking about networking, how a junior developer from 2 to 3 years of experience can use networking to boost their chances for a interview call. And right now we're talking about building connection with three type of people: recruiter, hiring manager, and developer. And then I was just covering what are the different steps that people can use. And this is an open mic, everyone. As you request, you will get it. So I will just cover this one piece, and then I will open the floor for adding more detail to what I have shared, um, to the floor that I kind of open up. So it work. Developer, highly technical people. I know it's some may not have started at all with this concept. So the easiest thing is to start liking what you like, right? If somebody have posted something, you like them, whoever is posting, they really appreciate any like or comment. So like, comment, and then build rapport with adding some kind of value there. And then once you have enough value, then you can do DM. And obviously there are a lot of strategy there as well, that how you send DM other than sending a plain hi, which some people do. So that's where I will stop, and open the floor. Does anybody want to add anything to what I have shared so far? And thank you so much, Axel, for accepting my request for being a co-host. Graham, big welcome to you. It means a lot that you joined.
I, I have a quick question. I've been working on marketing for a while, but not and or like networking, and I've done a lot of networking. How do you manage? Let's say you're really intent on this, and you're doing like a volume game. Do you use like a CRM? Like, do you use a spreadsheet? Like, how do you manage? If you're really focused on opening the door and getting a lot of volume around something like this.
Go ahead, Graham.
So, two things with that. One, I used to network pretty much professionally. My main role within my company was to bring the work in, and yes, I used a spreadsheet. I used to try and use a CRM, but to be honest with you, the time of maintaining it when you've got a lot of contacts was more than it was worth. Whereas a spreadsheet was easy enough just to literally just keep a very simple notes on people. You don't need a lot. You just need some nice reminders about, do they have kids, or have they been somewhere recently? What was the last thing that you discussed? You don't really need a full conversation history as such with networking, because a lot of the time one thing sparks memories of everything else. And the other thing that I used it for was I always put a sort of next contact date on there. So if it was someone that I thought was a good contact and useful to me, I would make sure that every couple of weeks I'd find a reason to be in touch with them. If they were a mid-level contact, probably 4 to 6 weeks. And if they were someone that we got along, but they weren't really useful to the business in any way, then I'd make sure that every 3 months or so I made contact with them. So it's funny you say it, because it's the Superbase Hackathon week, and I've really contemplated building something called Networker's Friend, which is like a simplified CRM browser extension where if I went onto your particular profile vital, I could press a button on a plugin, an extension, and then I could make some quick notes on you and stuff like that. So I'm contemplating building that because, yeah, if you're trying to network at scale, there's no way you can rely on memory. It just doesn't work. You end up with 30 to 50 people that you stay in touch with just by default. And then the rest of people, you might not speak to them often enough to keep that relationship strong enough to actually be useful to you both. And I don't think it's cheating, to be honest with you. I think having a little system just to remember to stay in touch with people, you don't know, because all of a sudden a conversation starts and you're like, oh, actually we're really useful to each other, or I can help them, or they can help me, or whatever it may be. So yeah, spreadsheet was the way I did it, but whatever works for you, basically.
Thank you,
I mean,
Graham. And I will cover my take on that. As we're talking about 2 to 3 year experience developer, my original context was a low key, where uh, just like how Graham said, maybe spreadsheet, maybe I personally, and I'm not that big, but that organized, I was saying big. I use a Notion file, a Notion database, and then I keep a some track of the person background, and but mostly my networking happen on Twitter, and Twitter does a very good job in keeping the track. And then there is a side. There is a tool, browser add-on. It's called Tweet Hunter X now, uh, Tweemex, I think, and it gave me an idea what I have spoken, what I have spoken or commented before. But again, bringing back to the context, in this particular context, these are junior developer, total experience. If they can maintain, my recommendation would be to maintain a spreadsheet like Graham said, or even if it is just a OneNote file, or notepad where they know that what are the companies that they are tracking, what are the recruiters or developers or jobs they are tracking. I will finish by saying I used to use a notebook for every job that I was applying. So I would have a one page with the job that I have applied. I will keep it empty and then I will keep note of all the interaction that I would be having. So it's just in my face, and then I can kind of know the top milestones with that conversation.
Yep, those are great. I got I like both of those the answers, so I appreciate the feedback. The one other thing I'll say is you have to have a. I've done like notes and stuff like that, and they get scattered. So on top of the note, I know that, and I'm working on this today, that I need to create some sort of thing that's going to get me back in some sort of a habit or recurring thing that. So I know that I've got to focus in on that point of the habit of revisiting the note, and then like you said on follow up dates, I need to create the habit of either putting that into my calendar and then following through on whatever the follow up is. So, and I think creating motion, like making this a daily commit somehow, a daily commit. So like I like what you were saying, just like something, well, you can make a daily commit to like something, you know, just to get some momentum, in this networking direction on a daily basis. I think that's really the key because we all know it's important, but you need some sort of mechanism to say, okay, I'm going to consistently do this over time.
Great point. With that, we go to Excel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Vinon, for the opportunity of being co-host. Yeah, very interesting topics. I think I'm not so good at this myself, but I do have experience from close people to me working in like marketing as well, and account management. And it really goes a long way when you're contacting someone and you actually know what your last conversation was. It does impress someone that you say, oh, and what is it? How was that project that you were working on? I think it does go a long way in networking, and this is the same technique that is applied for account management. So definitely keeping track. I think there was some terminology that was mentioned there that people might not know, like CRMs and stuff like that. But I think just like Graham mentioned, just keeping a simple spreadsheet with people you have been talking to, the main points, it goes a long way when you go back into that conversation after a few weeks and you actually know everything that you need to know, like the main points. It does help making that conversation easier. So I definitely taking that point as well. Like I knew it, but I haven't applied it that much. But yeah, thank you for that.
Awesome.
Good. CRM is customer relationship management, so it's more of a personal relationship management. But yeah, thank you for that clarification.
So, Vital, going back to your question, would you recommend or do you use a tool? Again, think about a junior developer with 2 to 3 years of experience. Um, is there a tool that can make it easier for them?
Was that directed at me or a general question? Sorry.
Oh, I was asking Vital.
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, my name's Jay. Sorry. Um, so so is there a tool? You said, is there a specific tool?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, thinking about 2 to 3 years of experience
Yeah, yeah.
developer.
So so this is one of the things because I know there's a lot of things that I haven't like that I get consistency and then off like start, and so I've got to make it like brushing your teeth or something to get to the point where you don't think about it, and I'm trying to figure out what my trigger things are. So I've identified Todoist as my go-to. I'm going to make a rule to look at my to-do list every single day and then list out key habits, and one of them is posting an essay article because I'm doing a 30 for 30 thing, so posting an essay article every single day on Twitter. um, Figure out what your key habits are going to be, and then my habit is just to look at what those habits are going to be. That's like the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to make it a commitment. Like first thing I get up in the morning is I look at that, like before I do anything, just so I can like make sure that I am orienting myself in the direction of these intentions. And for for someone who's looking to get into networking, one of these intentions is going to be, you know, like, comment, follow up my list or my Excel sheet of people that I was going to follow through with, and do that. You know, um, I don't know if junior developers all have a similar suite of tools that they have to go to, that you can put like something adjacent to it as a reminder to network. Because I'm not particularly a junior developer, but I think those are the things you want to look at, things that you're already doing, and then do something like very close to it so that you remember that, oh yes, I want to follow up with these people, or I want to do these things. Um, so for me, that's Todoist. That's going to be my go-to. I'm going to lean on that, and then I'm leveraging this tool called Obsidian, but I've got to learn it a little bit more. So like Apple Notes or something like that is simple enough too.
All right, I will quickly welcome everyone who has joined. There's so many people that I can see, so welcome everyone. We are talking about how a junior developer can use networking to find a higher paying job. Um, this is a series that I started last week, iSpace series, where I'm talking about a couple of different things that start with building a foundation in first 2 3 years, and then having a job search with that start with market research, that what's going on in the market, what's the current trend, and then picking something to add to your profile, and then work while you're working on that, maybe building a portfolio project, you start building your network. And then once you're done with that, then there's a interview process, there is a other step that we will talk in coming weeks. But today's topic is networking. I started with saying there are three different type of people that you want to network with, and I picked platform as LinkedIn. You could do that in other platform as well. um, Recruiters, hiring managers, and developers. And then I suggested that the basic method, if you have never done anything, then the very first thing that you want to do is to start reading your feed, and then start liking what you like from other developers or other um, hiring manager and people like that. And then the next step is comment, and then the third step is DM. And in this today's session, we will go deeper into the comment and DM strategies. One more thing that we will talk about is how to find the relevant people who can help you in your job search. And maybe that's where I can quickly go. That when you create your profile, LinkedIn will do a good job to show things that relevant to your profile. And as you will like something, as you will comment something, as you will repost something, Twitter algorithm will start showing you things that are relevant to you, and your behavior. I'm pointing out here your behavior because it take into account your activity on LinkedIn. Then then there are next step, right, where you can find people. And then there are two ways you can find people. One, again, looking at your homepage feed, you like something, you like a person who is constantly posting something that is relevant to you, you start following that person. So there is a follow button that you follow, and then LinkedIn will show more of more posts from this person. Then, so you can find people on your home feed, but then you can go more. You can go a next step where you can search in LinkedIn for a company, for a person, or type of role. I would say, instead of saying person, a type of role, location, and different other criterias. When you do that, you will be able to find the companies that you're interested in, and then the people in that company. Similarly, when you search for a role like a senior developer, or senior web developer, or senior data science, you will be able to find people, and then you can start following. So that's the you could go to the second level, and then based on that, you can follow more people, and that completely change your feed. And then once in that feed, then again you do the same thing. You like, comment, repost, and then finally at some point you will be able to do the DMs and all. Dave, thank you so much for joining. Dave was with me last week for the entire time. Thank you so much, Dave. And today we're talking about all about networking. And I know you know a lot around that. So with that, I will take a pause and I will ask if anybody has anything else to add to this point that where I was covering how to find people and then Twitter algorithm. Go ahead, Alex. Axel.
think I think something really useful in Twitter is Twitter lists. So Twitter lists is a great way to build users that you like from a certain niche. So, for example, if you're interested in three different areas, you can do three different lists. You can do a list for, I don't know, Rust development. You can do another list for front end development, and you can do another list for DevOps. That way you can like organize well like which kind of which kind of interest you're following, and yeah, it's a really great resource to apply for Twitter. Go ahead, Graham.
Just bear in mind the weird thing with lists is that it notifies people a lot of the time when you add them to a list. So name your lists well if you're going to use them. Don't just put cool peeps or something like that, because they're going to be like, oh, okay, cool, nice to know that you think
Private
that.
lists don't notify people, right?
Private lists don't, do they not?
No.
I'll have to look at Advil then. Thank you for that, Dave.
Yeah, there's just a checkbox in the bottom when you go create a new list. There's just a checkbox to say, yeah, make private. One other thing I'd say on lists is when you're starting off, don't go crazy and make lists. Think about lists as an easy way to filter your timeline to interact with people. So I'd suggest two really simple lists. I'd name one push and I'd name one pull. And push is for your friends, for people who engage with your content that you want to push them. You want to offer advice, share your expertise. And then pull is people with larger audiences that you want to pull from their pool of audience. So you want to get noticed in there. You're doing the same thing, you're adding value, but it's a different intention. So you know what you're doing in both of them as well. But it just keeps it simple. I think people can go crazy and add people into different categories and not think about, well, what's the type of content, or what is the who am I speaking to? The audience on that comment list, or the author of that comment.
You can always spot a software developer when they like push and pull for the names of their list. You know, there's other ways you could name them, everyone, but I love that.
And hopefully the people you're adding to the list, they are from the same world, so they will also understand pull and push. All right, anyone else who want to make any suggestion on this?
Yeah, I've one more suggestion. So I recommend push and pull just for when you're starting out with lists. I have three lists, which is consume, create, and cheer. And for consume, that's content I want to read about later on. That's stuff I want to figure out. And create is that's inspirational stuff. That's, oh, I really like the hook in that. I really like the approach of that. I'd like to do something similar for my area and my interests. Actually, sorry, that's not lists. That's bookmarks. Totally confused with that. That's bookmarks. Sorry. Lists is continuing engagement, but bookmarks are individual tweets I save them for consume and create.
You said consume and create, so two lists then.
I'm going to pull up my list now. Give me one second. Consume, create, and connect. Actually, are the three that I save tweets as bookmarks with Twitter Blue, X Blue, whatever we want to call it. You can put your bookmarks into folders. So consume, create, and connect. And that means I like their content. Maybe I might write something and I might tag that person in it later on. I might use that tweet as an inspirational piece to say, here's my thoughts on this, because I really like them and I want to build that relationship.
Love it. And I don't know if TweetDeck is still a direction for Twitter or X, but when you can do some creative things with Twitter lists that you make by adding it in the TweetDeck, and that allow you to consume and add more filters on top of what you have in the list. So, slightly advanced topic, not covering right now. But if anybody already using the TweetDeck with list, then just a reminder that they can do a slightly better with the list in the tree deck. Graham, you were saying something. I know Dave and you started talking exactly same time. So I wanted to pause just for a second to give you an opportunity to cover what you were saying.
No, I'm going to go for something spicy. Let Aman go, and then I'm going to go a little spicy here.
Okay. All right, Aman.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Graham. It's an honor for getting a green flag from you and letting me speak before you. So I'll make sure that I speak something that's equally Graham standard. I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not. Anyways, like interesting idea and topic that we are discussing over here. And if somebody is not doing networking in today's career, you could be a good engineer, but you cannot be a known good engineer if you don't do networking. So I think that's the important essential of getting recognized. I can't tell how many times the serendipity has worked out for me, and somebody just like in my own network recognized me and picked up me for some kind of opportunity, right? And for me, like it's all about visibility. Like you do good work, of course, that's important, but how do you get visibility for it? Like that's equally important. And for an employee who is doing like 7 hours or 8 hours of job and not reporting or not getting recognized or not documenting that stuff is worse than a person who is doing only 3 hours a day but reporting and documenting it, because people see those things and it's omnipresently creates an impression that you work hard. I was the exact opposite when I started. I was like, oh, I'm going to do the good work. I'm not the one who speaks a lot about my work, and I'm going to just be fine with it. I don't really like people who talk about their work and just always brag about it. And I'm not going to be that person. And what happened was like other people were taking credit for my work. They would come and just say, oh, yeah, they were the one responsible. And I was like an introvert back then. I'm still, but like when it comes to networking, I don't leave a single apostrophe or anything left behind. So, and as soon as I started putting that visibility layer on top of my work, everything started compounding. So then it was not just how many hours I was putting in, but when I was sleeping, that work was being seen by somebody else and they recognizing my work as well. How it comes along is just like it's just simple things. For example, writing a PR and writing it so well that it makes sense to the other person who is reading it. Documenting everything in terms of my journey, build in public is a great way to do that as well. If you're learning in public is a great way to do that as well. And what happens is like people around you notice these flags and oh my god, this person is putting effort into doing it. And I can't tell you how big of an idiot I was, like how many years this has taken back from my career journey when I was not doing this. And writing blogs, very important things. People still read it. A lot of people say, oh, now people read blogs, but videos are more interesting, so I'm going to make videos. And then after 2 or 3 efforts, you are like, oh, I'm not a good video editor, so it's not working out for me, and I quit. But I can't tell you, like, even if I go to Medium right now, I still get read stats from a Medium blog I wrote 6 7 years ago, and I am getting still the compound recognition for it. And the last and my favorite one is tech talks, tech conferences, in meetups and community gatherings, or even like the major ones. It's all obviously a step process to get to that point. But you won't even like it's kind of undersold. You don't need to be a super smart tech or need to invent something rocket sciencey or a JavaScript module to be a conference speaker. The more important stuff in networking and conferences is how can you make difficult concepts easily understood by people who don't understand them thing. So, and I figured out like I was great at storytelling. I was great at using like real life examples, breaking down important difficult concepts, and sharing it with different people and able to come up with like personalized storytelling to make that possible. And so far I have done 50 plus conferences, and I'm not looking for quantity. It's all about quality, my friend. So even networking with one or two people in an event and doing it as good as possible so that they come back and you have a more stronger relationship is far better than just knowing 100 people from that conference. And with that, I think I've already added enough, and I won't take too much light from Graham, because I always want to learn more and continue improving more. But that's just my 2 cents. I could see Vinod DMing me. Thank you so much for the appreciation. And obviously, TED Talk might as well. I haven't got. I was going to, but the pandemic happened, and they were not fast enough to change into a TED Talk online. But that's something that is on my list as well. But guess what? If one opportunity door closes, there's another one. So keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and don't go after ticking off boxes of networking or having 100 people on my list or something. Have quality connections, people you can really depend on, people who would say, I know Aman and he can fix a problem. That is what networking is about. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Graham, I will let you speak first, and then I want to talk a lot about this.
Yeah, the problem with letting me speak first is I'm on a top tip for you in a space. Cover one thing at a time because there were loads of valuable things in there and there's too many to cover. So let's do a whistle stop tour. First of all, speaking at conferences and going to conferences, I agree with. Here's a hack for you all. Go MC. I MC'd at a conference last week. Week before actually, the We Are Devs conference. I got a lot of interesting conversations there. And the beauty of MCing is because you're introducing people, you get to chat with maybe 10 or 15 people who are speaking, and the speakers tend to be reasonably well connected people. So go and MC, and if you're really good at negotiating, you might even get paid for that. So there's one tip for you. Second thing in there, you sparked something that I was going to bring up later in this conversation, but I'll bring it up now. You were talking about building in public, and that brings me on to passive networking versus active networking. I think this is an important point that people need to understand. So building in public and commenting on other people's stuff, etc., is more passive networking. That is, you make yourself very approachable. You give people the option to start conversations with you very easily because they can be like, hey, man, I absolutely love that article you wrote on Medium 7 years ago. It's a nice, easy opener for me if I want to approach a man. So that's passive networking. That is getting the people to come to you. And then the opposite side is the active networking. You are the one who's reaching out. You are seeking out people who you want to speak to. So Dave here, I might go, you know what, Dave, it looks really interested. Had a look at his profile. Fueling focus and performance in creators. Interesting. So I would then approach him saying, hey, what's that all about? What's fueling, I've forgotten it again. Fueling focus and performance in creators. What's the story behind that, etc., etc. It might be a DM, might be a post of his. That's more active. I am doing the reaching out. So bear that in mind because you need to use both. You need to make yourself very easy to connect with. So let people know what you're about. I'm terrible at that in terms of tweets and stuff. And I need to work harder on that so that people go, oh, Graham, the accessibility guy. Like, I need to tweet about that. People know it in spaces because I talk about it a lot. I don't tweet about it at all. So I need to follow my own advice there. And then, like I said, there's the active reach out. So if you want to connect with someone, find something interesting that you think you can start a conversation about, and then make sure you include that in your DM or however you approach them in the first place. There are about 20 other things you said there. Like I said, top tip for next time, just pick one thing so that we can actually have a conversation about it because my old brain will not remember all the value you dropped there.
Absolutely, Graham. I'll definitely remember it next time. I was again, I'm still learning on how to consolidate and bring one thing out rather than 20, which I kind of did there. But one thing I want to kind of learn myself as well, and Graham or anybody who has done it well, I'm kind of lazy one when it comes to even tweeting and talking about what I'm working on. Any tips over there, like how you can be very smart about what you want to tweet, so that it just works as an active networking.
I will take a shot on that, but first I want to kudo you for everything that you have said. Um, Graham has his hand up, so let me quickly cover this, and then I will hand over to Graham because I'm almost desperate to to share to respond. Um, so Aman, you shared a lot of different things, and one thing really resonated with me is documenting your history, documenting your work, and blogging. So I personally started my blog in like 2006-7 when there was Yahoo GeoCities. Some people may remember what it was, and then Google has this blog spot and all. What worked for me is anytime I was solving a problem, and I still remember there was a post, I was using VMware, and for some reason it stopped working, and I spent like 4 hours fixing it. But then when I fixed it, I I had the screenshot of the problem that I was facing, solution I found, and then exactly what worked for me to solve it. And to my surprise, few months later, I was hitting like 400 views daily, and it was zero effort, right? I spent 4 hours solving that problem. It took me like 10 extra minutes to document it. And I see this again and again, especially with developers, that they would spend entire night writing a code or solving a debug issue, but they are okay with spending that much time. But as soon as they find a solution, they would not take that extra minute, 10 minutes to just screenshot and write the step to post it. I know that one of my blocker was my English. So when I was writing this, I think from 2006 to 8, I did very well. But then over time, I felt so conscious that what I'm posting, I don't know what people will think about me and my credibility because my English was so bad, especially the grammar side. And I stopped writing. And I still felt like I still have regret for that, but fortunately, I came back. But my point is, you can just write about the new code that you have wrote, or a problem that you have just solved for yourself because 10 other people face that problem. One of the top Medium article that I have is all about me solving problem. Example, I was facing a problem with my AirPod, and that is like 500,000 views so far. It's just amazing that we try to create content like a in dedicated sitting, but instead of that, we can just start by posting what we are already doing, like solving our own problem. So that really resonated with me, and that applied to inside office when you similar type of thing, right? When you have spent so much time in writing a code, you developer don't want to spend, I don't know why, to add some additional document within the code. And same thing, you would spend a lot of time in the night to solve a problem, but you won't write a paragraph to your manager or your team that this was the problem, this is how I solved it, and things like that. So I think the friction, you can just remove the friction by writing about the problem that you're solving, and then you can go more and more around new ideas or some mentorship related items. And then I will stop there by saying, I sent a message to Aman already. TED Talk is my dream. I will go there at some point. And I will hand over mic to Graham by saying somebody asked a question, what MC means. So I have responded, but you may want to start there.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that yeah, ironically, I'm going to sit here and someone can correct me. I'm pretty sure it's Master of Ceremonies that it actually stands for, but what it basically means is you're hosting, you're basically sat on stage introducing people. I tell you what, if you want an easy job, it's pretty easy once you get comfortable speaking in front of a room of people, which I know for some people is very scary, but spaces are a great way to overcome that. Um, it was maybe a minute of work every 25 minutes. And then I got to go off and wander around, which made me look like a right idiot because I had a full mic pack on and the headset and everything while I'm wandering around the conference talking to people. But still, that's what it is. It's basically the introductions, it's running the stage, you fill if there are any problems, and you introduce what's going on at the beginning of the day. It's easy once you're used to speaking in public, which I know is very difficult for a lot of people. But once you get past that barrier, it's a very easy way to meet a lot of people, get seen, and also get free tickets to conferences. And like I said, if you really know how to negotiate, I got paid to be there, which is even better. I got paid to be at a conference. So look into it and get better at public speaking, which you can do by joining Vinod Space and coming up on stage and asking a question and practicing speaking. So there's my little encouragement to get up here. Aman, I'm pretty sure your question was something along the lines of, because it was a long time ago, and like I said, my brain's not working today. How do I, what should I tweet about? Like, basically, how do you get more content out there? Is that give me a thumbs up if that was right? I'll take Vinod's thumbs up as the yes to that. The short answer is on Twitter. Don't think. Twitter is a place to just have verbal diarrhea. So if something interesting happens in your day, tweet about it. If you see an interesting article, share it with the world. If you have a thought, I might build this, ask people what they think about it. Like, this is the place where you dump everything that's in your head out into the world and just share what you're thinking at that moment in time. People take pictures of their food and go, look what I cooked for dinner. And then they'll be like, look at my cat. It's not a place to worry too much. With that being said, I would say that as soon as I were talking about using network to double your earnings, I would very carefully curate what you put on your social media. What I was going to say before that was spicy was, look, Twitter is not the best place to be networking, realistically. It's the high effort way of doing it. It's great to make friends, great to make connections, but for true networking, it's not the best. The best is probably LinkedIn. Let's face it. If you're being professional and you want to increase your career, LinkedIn is where most people are. LinkedIn's the place to be professional. LinkedIn's the place to actually network with people, etc., etc. Tying all that together, because I feel like I've gone off on a tangent, what I would say is this: whatever you put out there is the impression people have of you. And the whole point in networking when it comes to social media is you want people to know you for something. Like I said, this is where I'm very bad at doing this when it comes to tweets, etc. I don't tweet about accessibility. If you're trying to utilize social media to improve your career and to network with people, then 50% of everything you put out there should be on a specific subject. So curate it a little bit. I'd recommend maybe putting a day a month aside to come up with some ideas of what you could talk about, put a few things together. Or if you're the sort of person who can work off the cuff, fine. I'm not. I'm someone who needs to actually sit down and think about it. And go, right, okay, I want to talk about accessibility. What could I do? Oh, well, there's WCAG. I can go and look at the WCAG guidelines. I could give tips on how to understand them because they are very confusing for most people. And then 50% of my content should be all around accessibility or a particular topic, because that way people know what they're getting when they connect with me. And the first step to networking properly is to get that follow, or get someone at least interested in something you say and commenting underneath what you're saying. So I hope that was clear, because I feel like I went a little bit round the houses there. But essentially, it's pick a topic, focus in on it, don't worry about being broad, be very niche, and then talk about it often in your tweets, in your posts on other social media platforms, in your writing, etc. Doesn't mean you can't share some of your personal life with people, but at least half of your stuff needs to be on a topic, on a subject, so that I know what I'm getting. And if I look through your timeline for 30 seconds, I'm like, a man knows about networking or whatever it may be, or a man's working on public speaking because they want to be a TED Talk speaker, that sort of thing.
Great point, Graham. Aman, have any follow up? Okay, cool. Um, I want to add. I know this is not a topic about this, but I feel like this can be useful in general when we are talking about networking. Um, there are a couple of layers, I guess, a writer has to go through, and allowing yourself permission to go through those layers. And I think it fit best for a junior developer, 2 3 year of experience, that how to get started writing. And there will be a lot of mental block. Again, I'm sharing my personal story as I shared that grammar mistake or whatever it is, right? Uh, it was, everything was inside my head, and the right way to do it is to make it as a hobby and understand that initially nobody reads. um, Even after writing for so long, there are less action, right, for people who are doing it for some time. So initially when you start writing, just write, based on the advice that Graham has shared about the topic. And and like I said, just document the problem that you have solved for yourself. Then when you feel comfortable that all right, I'm ready to go to the next step, that's where you probably have a right time to learn the techniques, and techniques such as how to write headlines, how to write hook, how to write do a formatting, and then finally how to do your storytelling. Those technique can take 6 months to a year, or for some extra talented people maybe for a couple of weeks. But that's where you spend some time, and then comes the hardest part of everything, the outcome that you're trying to get from it. If you want to build your presence, which is what we are talking about, you don't have to worry about all that. You just type about the type of thing that you want to do or you're doing, which mean anybody you're networking with, they will be able to see the type of content that you're posting and then type of content that you're interested in. So you want to have at that point, use the word niche. At that point, you want to narrow it down to the things that you want to share with the people you want to network with. Again, we're talking about job, right? A specific scenario where a hiring manager or recruiter or somebody is looking at your LinkedIn profile, and at that time they're also looking what the thing that you talk about. So at that point, it's building your web presence. What are the different things that you have done and you want to do? Again, building your credibility. There is another side of it which many people are doing here, and that's when that's the product side of it, and it's really painful journey to find what is that one outcome, what is that one person that you want to talk about, and it takes really long time, and but let's not talk about that part in this one because it's completely outside the context, and probably the people who are here is not interested in that. So I will bring us back to start, build a hobby, learn technique, and then build a presence. Keep that in mind, and then everything will start aligning to you to it. With that, I want to welcome Uttab. Uh, Uttab, and we are in the same city. Uttab, go ahead.
Yo, what up? What up? Hey, Vinod, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Yeah, man, we live in the same city. How cool is that? But it's just that he lives in the east side and I live in the west side. But yeah, shout out to Graham, man. I was like, when y'all talking about MC, the first thought came into my mind was MC Hammer. I'm like, man, when you need to know what is MC, just look at MC Hammer, man. He's like the best rapper out there. R.I.P. man. Um, no, actually, he still lives. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking about that. Anyway, um, one thing that I wanted to add, that Graham brought a really good topic about accessibility. Um, I actually recently, I was talking to Graham the other day in a different space that I actually recently started doing a blog, and it's based on the problems that I actually face throughout the learning journey and web development. And accessibility is a really, really important subject that a lot of people completely forget when they start learning. Um, if you don't know what accessibility is, something that you while you're building a website, you keep this in your mind that you have to build a website not for general public, but you also want to main focus on people with a disability. Make when you like if you go to a lot of sites, let's look at Apple as example, right? Apple is a really good website, like it's one of the best you can see. But one thing that you can keep in mind is their text, is their transition, is you can enlarge the text, you can see a lot of things that is really clear. And the reason why is because they're really focused on people who cannot read properly, who cannot listen to it, because they do have in the Apple, if you look and pay attention, they do have the microphone service, like a speaker where if you click on it, the website speaks for itself. So that way, if they're blind, they can literally hear what that website is talking about. So that I'm not saying you have to go very depth inside, but if you're learning, that's something I'm actually working on currently, because my website I started with really complex, but now I following this really important topic of accessibility, where I make sure that the text that the fonts that I'm choosing is readable. The image that I'm choosing, that make sure it's well thought of, meaning like even if they're really complex image, make sure it describe what the purpose of your website is. So that's something that you guys have to keep. You If you just do slowly, but like start with the slow and then build your website according to that. But just choose, make sure you have to choose first a really good font, something that is really readable. The other thing is, as Vinod was saying, that about like when you're working on it, take a little minute of like, you know, create a notes, create some sort of like a case study, in other words, right? Case study, like what was the problem, what do you faced, and how do you resolve it. You don't have to be really good at and describing it. Even if you say English is not your first language, I will still create some sort of outline, right? And just whatever you can come up, just free write it. Just free write it and use a amazing tool that we're blessed with. Is called ChatGPT. Just put it on ChatGPT. It will literally rephrase it in a really good grammar, proper grammar. Like it can translate into a really proper English with a good grammar. You can use that. You can proofread it if or maybe you can share with someone who can proofread it for you before you submit. Even if you just submit like that, people still find it better at reading. You don't have to use ChatGPT. You can post whatever you come up with. People like natural. They like something that you are. It's not you trying to be. So be who you are. Be real. So I would highly recommend start from the beginning, because that's where you start building the ethics of creating a proper documentation while you coding. Everyone knows about it. README file. It's not about you just pushing it to the GitHub. You can create a per folder structure where if you come across like someone go to your project, they can read the README file about that project. So that's something is really, really, really important. I actually tweeted about it earlier. Is that you don't have to put README. You can just put plain text file, which is .txt file per folder, and that actually you can put your notes, you can put your blogs, you can do whatever. It's really, really important. Oh, sorry. You can go back to you. Sorry, I lost the track.
Great point, great point. And accessibility. I work for Advent Health, and we have a mix of population, including elderly population, and it's really, really important for us to take care of that. And it's many years ago, it becomes so prominent, and even from the legal perspective. So that was a great point. I think in today's scenario, accessibility and web security, those are the 2 points that every developer want to kind of build the foundation. All right. With that, I want to welcome everyone who have joined so far. We are talking about how you can use networking to uh, get a high-paying job. The topic is to a junior developer with 2 to 3 of experience. By then, they have built the foundation. How they can use their foundation, everything that they have done in last 2 3 years, to project in a way to the hiring manager in their interview, so that you get you can clear the interview and get a high paying job. We are doing a series of these spaces that started last week with us understanding the job market, what's the current trend, picking 1 or 2 skills to your toolbox. And then today's topic is networking, and in future we will talk more about interview, creating your personal stories, and all that good thing, and bringing everybody back to networking. We started with 3 type of people to connect with: recruiter, hiring manager, and developer. And in the initial conversation, we talk about LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn to find people and build the connection. There was a lot of good point that was made, that how you track who you're connecting with, some kind of Excel that Graham has suggested. And then we start talking about um, who we start talking about Oh, I love seeing CRM and remembering who you're connecting with, and then then we start talking about how you can have your LinkedIn feed in a way that you're finding people and you're following them. Now we started with LinkedIn. We will stay with LinkedIn for now. You can do same thing with Twitter, and then there are other avenue as well. For example, in-person events, local events, you can find those using Meetup. Then there are virtual events that you can do. Then there are online courses that you can join and you can find people there. And then there are programs such as 100 Day Dev that you can kind of find more people and connect with them. It's a vast topic. I like to keep it narrow and then expand. So I'm going back to LinkedIn. Obviously, you can apply that to other places as well. And um, we will talk more about how to in the comment, when you post a comment to a person and when you send them a DM, what are the different things that you can keep in mind, and how you can improve the quality and improve the quality and then possibility of response and then the connection. But before we start talking about this topic, Graham has the hands up. So let's go back to Graham. Let's close the previous topic and then we will start talking about this one. So Graham, over to you now.
You know what? If you want to move on to a different topic, that's fine. I was actually sort of going sideways anyway with what I was thinking.
No, go ahead, Graham. I mean, we can finish that and then we can come back to it. No problem at all.
Okay,
Please.
so the one thing we haven't really mentioned yet is Discord communities or Slack communities. If you're looking for, when you're networking, you're looking for people who you can connect with. So you probably have a shared interest, something in common. There's not really a better way than joining a community that surrounds your interests. Now, there are a couple of caveats with this. A lot of you, we're talking about junior devs, so you may think, oh, I'll join Danny Thompson's server, commit your code. I'll join Leon's server, 100 devs, something like that. That's great for networking, but you're networking at your level a lot of the time then. And you need to mix who you're networking with. So when I say networking at your level, what I mean is you're networking with people who are at the same place in their career. So you're probably networking with other junior devs, people who are learning to be a dev, etc., etc. That's great. You certainly want those connections, but you also need to network up if you're looking to improve your career. So you need to be connecting with senior devs. You need to be connected with CTOs. So find something that interests you, that you can learn more deeply once you've got past the initial stages of learning, and go and find a server that's more focused on that. So, for example, Upa and I have both been going on about accessibility. So, if that became an interest of yours, I would go join an accessibility server, because the odds are the people there will be from varied backgrounds rather than just beginners. So, you're more likely to be able to network up. And you need to be semi-deliberate with it. It's really tough, because if I say be deliberate, people will then go and hunt down all the CTOs and be like, hey, I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you. It's not what I'm saying. There's nuance to this, but it's like, if you know someone who's in a position that influences hiring at a company you want to work at, then see if you do have something in common and make the connection. It still needs to be genuine, but it doesn't mean you can't pick out people that you want to try and form a genuine connection with. Communities are probably the best way to do that, because if you're going to go down that route, the first thing you want to be doing always in networking is, my top tip in networking in general, is you want to give something first before you ask for anything. So if you can contribute in some way to a community, you've given, maybe not directly to the person you want to network with, but to the community in general. That's when you're in the position where it's a lot better to be able to make an ask. So networking is all about farming. It's about, I like to call it the balance of power. I like to call it that you do things for other people and they owe you one. And I know that feels very transactional, and it shouldn't be, but it kind of is how it works. Like, if you do one nice thing for someone, it tends to come back 5 times over to you. So get out there, find some way to support somebody. And you might think, I'm a junior dev, I can't support anyone in any way. Supporting someone can be as simple as coming up into this space and asking a smart question. That's supporting Vinod, because keeping the conversation going in a space is difficult. Asking a smart question means that there's loads of things that people can talk about. So it doesn't necessarily mean expertise. It means a willingness to learn. It means a willingness to put yourself out there. It's interacting with people. It's encouraging people when they're doing well. It's cheering people on when they have successes. These are all things that still count as contributing to a community, contributing to the dev community, and also get you noticed by other people. And then you can start approaching people and making asks. I think I managed to tie 2 or 3 things together there, but at the same time, I feel like I missed something. So I hope that made sense. But I feel like there's something I need to add to that in a minute when I've had to think about it.
Uttam, go ahead. Uttam, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I totally forgot. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Axel. Shout out to Aman, Graham, Sam. I totally forgot to give you all a shout out before I start rambling about it. So I just wanted to do that first before I continue. Um, Graham, thank you so much for bringing that topic because I was actually in that stage where when I was in LinkedIn, I tried to like send people like, hey, like try to like reaching out to all the recruiters, but it's some point it's just like if you don't come across the right approach, no one will reply to you, right? So Discord is a really good channel, but then also what I find out is you don't want to like randomly go to any Discord. The good tip that I actually I learned throughout this is if you go to your LinkedIn, search in a group, right? And that group could be with the tech stack that you're familiar with, like the JavaScript, React, or any group that is based on your location. And what they do is if you go to that group, they do list a Discord channel where you can join in, because what happened in that Discord channel, you're gonna have a people around you, maybe based on your geographic area or maybe your continent area, right? Like more like you're not your country, but you're a continent. You can join there and then you can connect. That's something I'm actually doing, because the reason why I did that is I was on the other space was regarding the open source, and one of the speakers talk about like it's better if you go to these groups of like Discord channel, right? And if you want to look for open source, you need to better go into the community base rather than going to GitHub, because sometimes if you're new to GitHub, it will be some sort of challenge. But if you go to these Discord, they do list a lot of beginner friendly open source project where you can contribute. And second thing is in case if you're not familiar with it or you're having some trouble, you can always ask question there and they can help you, right? And if you're just going to go to Discord, you might not going to understand sometime, because it's a really noisy area if you're not too familiar with it, right? If you just did one, let's say if you do from Discord as one open source, then you'll be okay with it and then go in and start doing contribution. But Discord is a really really good area if you want to build a community. So I literally wanted to add that on top of that, what Graham was saying, that just join the Discord channel.
Thank you, Uttam. Um, I want to request everyone to retweet so that more people can know about this space. And Graham does this amazingly well, so I will request him to ask all the audience to follow each other. So I will just say, follow Graham. He's an amazing person. If you follow Graham, you will know about all exciting spaces that are happening around Twitter. I still say Twitter. And with that, I will request Graham to kind of request everybody to follow each other, and then we go to Sam after that.
Wait a minute, I didn't realise this was Dance Monkey Dance. Here's Vinod with the bloody stick poking me. Come on, Graham, perform for the people, perform for the people. But it's all right, I'll comply, look, everybody, we're on a social network. The clue's in the name. Like, you're sat there, you're listening, you're just passively listening and doing nothing. Why? Why are you doing that? There are people in here who have similar interests to you. We're talking about finding people with similar interests. So click on some faces. There are some beautiful people in the audience. There's also some not so beautiful people, but click on their faces anyway. We shouldn't be discriminating against people who haven't got pretty faces like me. So click on a face of the person next to you. Have a look at their timeline. Do you have the same interests? If you do, click that connect button. Give them a follow. Find some of their tweets that you find interesting. Comment under them. Comment something useful. under them. That's the key bit. Something useful underneath something that they have posted. Add to the conversation. All that networking is starting conversations with people and trying to find out if you have common ground, whether you can help each other, whether you like each other, or whether you dislike each other. Plenty of people in this room won't like me. That's fine. That's fine. I won't hold it against you. I will just hunt you down when I rule the world. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. But like I said, click on some faces. Honestly, in this room, there are probably 10, 20 people that are your people, the sort of people that you want to be connecting with. Do it now. Connect with some people. Make some friends. And while you're at it, obviously, if you're clicking on faces, click on the faces of the people on stage. People are giving their time for free, offering their advice for free. The least you can do is click on their faces, give them a follow if they are at least semi-interesting to you or they've said something that resonates with you. It means a lot to people who are putting the time in. The one thing I will say is, don't follow me. I don't know what Vinod was on about. Look, don't tweet. I just troll people all the time. I have no idea why there's 15,000 people decided to click that button because I'm not a nice person. But everybody else on this stage, I can attest, other than Dave, who I've only just met, but he seems lovely, are lovely people. And Dave, you're becoming my favourite anyway. So everybody, click on Dave's face. We're going to make a special call out for Dave. Click on Dave's face. Give him a follow. Doesn't matter if you like his stuff or not, but I like his stuff. I'm about to do that now. There we go. I've just given Dave a follow. So there you go. Have I danced enough for you, Vinod? Can I relax now?
Can I mean,
That's more of a
give me
clickbait.
an emoji if anybody think that I could have delivered 10% of what Graham has said.
It's more of a clickbait. Don't click on my name, but then click on my name.
People do the opposite of what you tell them. So if you say don't click on my face, everybody clicked on my face. It's just a classic tactic. There you go. You can steal that one.
Well, thank you so much, Graham, for delivering that speech. As I said, I probably will not able to even match the 10% of it. And Dave, thank you so much for being here. At some point you will speak because Dave has a strategy, a technique for focus driver that help you do things that you want to do and you say you do you want to do, right? Those will help you not only accomplish things that you say you will do. Yeah, now I'm able to say it right, but you will be able to go beyond of optimizing your work and still feel not overwork or overwhelmed. So thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Bernard, and thank you, Graham. That was brilliant. That had touches of guilt, sincerity, comedy, and random crazy rants as well. So yeah, and I like what you said at the end. People do the opposite. So thanks for recommending that everybody follow me, so that you won't follow me as well. Well played, sir.
That's the English Irish sort of
Oh yes,
thing
it's
going
back
on.
on.
Yeah, there we
Let's
go.
bring the
Let's
war
go.
back. Single-handedly, two people on Twitter ruin nations.
All right, with that, we go to Sam. Sam, go ahead.
Oh man, honestly, I don't know how you expect me to follow that. That was fantastic. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Vinod, firstly, for having this space. This is great. Big up everyone on the stage. Axel, Wagwan G, it's been a while. Everyone who spoke as well, man. There's been so many good things being said, great points being made. I'd love to build so many of them, but there have been so many I couldn't possibly start. The only thing I think I will say, I'll keep it short, is we're talking about networking and stuff. And Vinod, I noticed you say you want to keep it focused on LinkedIn and stuff, which makes sense because professionally, that's where you're going to find jobs and stuff. Why is no one mentioning the guy, like the LinkedIn guy, flipping Danny Thompson, man? Real talk. I'm not even joking. Like, you all know who he is. I don't even have to explain who he is. You all know who he is. But seriously, I can attest. I promise you. If like I do PHP, I don't talk about it much on here because it's dead boring. I find it boring, but that's what I do. And when I first joined like tech Twitter, I followed Danny. I watched a few of his videos about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. I followed his instructions. They're very clear. I did what he said. And now, whenever there is a PHP job going within, I don't know, 50, 100 kilometers of me, I get a DM. Like, I get a message from a recruiter at some stage. I'm not saying any of them go anywhere because, you get to interviews and then they find out that, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about and stuff, but that's beyond the point. Like, the point is networking. A bunch of recruiters in my local area that know my name, know that I've got something to do with PHP, are in their little address book, so that when they get contacted by a company that says, oh, we need a back-end developer, who do you know? My name's in that list. And that all came from optimizing the platform of LinkedIn, which I personally hate. I can't stand it. Like, it's, yeah, I'm not going to get into that, but it serves a purpose. It's there as a professional networking tool. So optimize it, use it, do, like, all it is algorithms, and it's all very nicely broken down by your man Danny Thompson. So yeah, that's it. That's my advice. Follow him, do what he says, and you will start to receive. You'll have like a head start in networking, and it's fantastic. But yeah, thank you everyone for like what you're bringing to this conversation. It's all fantastic. I'm really enjoying listening, and yeah, I hope to have more contributions as we go on.
Thank you, Sam. That was so nice of you. I have invited Dennis. Hope he will be able to join. He has been super busy for the last couple of days, um, so not sure if he will be able to.
Wait a minute. I thought I was special when you invited me. You're inviting Danny as well? Oh,
After I
gosh.
You're the
invited you,
different sort of
Graham, he was
special,
the
right?
second one.
Different sort of special.
No, you number one is special, okay?
There's something about the way you're saying special there that really feels insincere. Anyway, let's move on.
And you're my favorite. I don't
Yeah.
believe anything they
Oh
said
my
about you the
God.
last time you weren't here. Like the stuff they said, unbelievable. I do not agree with it. I know I said some of it, but I don't agree with it now.
You're not helping me, David.
So
And we have Dallas in the room. Hey, Dallas, welcome. I want to remind everyone this is an open space. Anybody can request the mic, and it will automatically give it to you. So please feel free to grab the mic and
And
oops. Um, Yes, and I have we speak about project management and different techniques and journey for building a project. So he has a lot of experience around that. So do follow him. Okay, all right. I don't see any other hand. So let's keep going to the next topic. Again, everyone, whoever here, welcome, welcome. And then please retweet this space so more people can know about it. We are talking about a junior developer with 2 to 3 years of experience to use the networking um, to get a high paying job. We talking about three different type of people to connect with: recruiter, hiring manager, and developer. We are talking about LinkedIn as a platform right now, but you could do the similar technique on other platform. Some of the platform that has been mentioned was LinkedIn, Twitter, in-person event, virtual event, courses that you would join. uh, Sam just talk about or Uttab just talk about the Discord community, open source community. There are a lot where you can find people and then you can connect with them. Um, there are there are one suggestion that multiple people have shared in this group. When you build a connection, don't just touch and go versus build upon those connection. What that mean is instead of sending message or connecting with or joining hundreds of Discord group, join few of them, find you like. Similarly on the LinkedIn, find few people and then build a longer relationship rather than just touch and go. That's where we will talk about going to the next segment, which is where we are talking about how to build those relationships. At a very surface level, you you start by liking somebody's post. It's a and then commenting on them. We have discussed here as a developer, if the person is a developer that you're trying to build a connection, we just spoke about how difficult it is emotionally for a developer to post something, and initially nobody reads much unless you are professionally writing for some time and have built the audience. Think about this person. If you're liking their post, if you're commenting on their post, they will automatically recognize it. And if you do that consistently, you will build some kind of bond there. So like, comment, repost. Those are the preliminary steps that you can take, and beyond that, you start the DMs, which is like direct messaging to people, and then building a bond. So in both of those, um, there are techniques. I'm using the word techniques, but it's more like in person. You would have a similar type of behavior if you meet somebody in a conference, let's say. You won't just say them hi and wait for their response, right? You would probably shake hand, you will have some kind of gesture, you will have some kind of additional comments, and then you will have the conversation. So similarly, when you post a comment on somebody's post, don't just say good post or wonderful or something. Try to add some meaning, some meaningful comment. At minimum, show that you have read that post. Show that you understood what they have added in that post, and it could be a comment related to what they're saying, right? So then, at a slightly advanced level, because you're once you start doing it enough, you will build a habit. You will build a what to say, in your mind you will have some kind of template to respond to, right? That can also help. But just just how you talk to somebody in hallway is the mentality that you want to keep. If they tell you about something that they have done, you would say something, and that's exactly how you want to respond here. So that's number one. And then number two, when you send DMs to other person, I still get DMs that is just like hi. um, Instead of that, you could say um, who you are and why you're connecting. Or you could say who you are and what you like about something, context to their post, context to their recent achievement or certification, context to something, and start the conversation that way. So let's go deeper into those 2 points. There was one other thing that I had in mind. Just one more second. Um, It slipped. It slipped. That's okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. With DM, you can find there are templates. Now, I don't suggest using the templates as is, but use that as a guidance, just a grooming your mind to how these things work. Use them, because that can help you go to the next level. So let's go deeper into this topic. Comments and DM to build the relationship. With that, I will go to Graham.
Okay, so you put me in a nice little box, so I'll stay in that little box and we'll talk about commenting and DMing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Say.
No. I will stay in my box. Don't worry, Vinod. It's fine. So commenting, right? Look, I wrote quite heavily on dev.to, but I commented way more. Commenting is certainly one of the best ways to form connections with people. So I wrote 100 articles, but I left 2,000 comments in a year. 2,000. There's a reason it works so well to form connections. One is when someone's put a lot of effort into an article, you putting something useful and underneath it is really, really going to stand out, because yes, Vinod mentioned it. People say, great article, amazing, thanks. What do you think that achieves? Like, yes, it's lovely to see that, but that ain't what I want under my article. Do you know what I want under my article? I either want you to say, hey, this was fantastic, I learned this from this, it was really useful, or even better, here's a top secret tip, but you need to get this right. Say, hey, I noticed this. It's not quite right. What you should have actually done is this. Now, it takes a bit of practice to do it, but trust, if you want to build a connection with someone, tell them where they made a slight mistake. Even if it's a typo or something, do it in a polite way, because you're the person who actually showed that not only did they read what was going on, but they thought about what was written, and they actually put consideration into a response and you helped an author. Now, some people will just be like, yeah, thanks. But most people will then like have a conversation with you and then you connect with them. I've made more friends by telling people they're wrong than by telling them this article was amazing. So, bit spicy, bit of an interesting take for you, but bear it in mind. And like I said, do it politely. Don't go in and go, haha, you're a fucking moron. You got this typo. Like, no, that's not the way to do it. Do it in a polite and respectful way. Unless, of course, it's Vinod, in which case you can be as disrespectful as you want because he just keeps putting me in a box or making me dance, and I'm not impressed with that.
Wait.
I'm joking, everyone. I'm joking. Please do not be disrespectful to Vinod. No, don't worry. You don't need to defend yourself. You're not YK. YK gets to defend himself, but you don't have to,
Graham, I
Vinod.
want to explain.
There's no explanation. I'm winding you up. I'm being silly.
No,
Don't
that
worry.
that will help me explain why my space may be slightly different, right? This is the second space that I'm hosting, but all the experience that is coming from my corporate world, right? 23 years in the corporate world, I have led meetings and deployments that's like 70% inside the room and 70% in the conference call when we launched adventhealth.com for the first time. So I have that kind of mindset experience, whatever you say, and I think that comes out more often than not. And when I'm hosting these spaces, you will see a glimpse of that experience and that organization, right? To facilitate these big meetings, and that's how I'm doing right now. I hope that I will be able to gain experience, and then also on top of that, I'm highly introvert person. To be able to speak for a minute, I need breathing. I need breathing after that and all that. So sometimes when I'm speaking, I lose words. So all that are coming in play. But what I know that after doing it for long enough, I will be 10% of what Graham is. So Graham, I'm not putting you or anyone in a box. It's just that the experience that I'm bringing or the courage of running this space is coming from my past experience. So with that, Graham, please share other things as well because those are helpful to the audience. So don't keep it to yourself. Please share it all.
So, first of all, Vinod, none of that was necessary, but thank you for sharing it because at least it lets us know where you're coming from. You're running the space beautifully. Do not take me winding you up as anything other than me winding you up because that's how I show affection. I'm a broken person. I can't say nice things about people. I insult them if I like them. So, if I'm being mean about you, Vinod, it means that I like you. Continue on from where I was going. Yes, commenting 100%, great way to open a conversation up. As I said, if you can add to a conversation, brilliant. If you spot a mistake in what someone's saying, say it in a polite and respectful way, but do point out mistakes. It's a great way to connect with people. You wouldn't think it, but it is. The second thing that you were mentioning was DMs and the highs. Oh, the highs. People, look, if you've ever sent a DM that says hi, just hang your head in shame for a minute, just a minute, and then we'll pick you back up off the ground. But look, it's the most pointless thing in the world. I make a point of if someone sends me hi, I don't respond, I don't accept nothing. The reason being is hi is unintentionally disrespectful. And let me explain why I think that. If you say hi to someone, then that puts the onus on them to have to say hi back. And they then need to say, how can I help you? And that puts them in a weird position because if they're saying, how can I help you? That makes you think, oh, this person will help me. And maybe they don't want to. So please don't say hi. It adds 3 steps to a conversation that don't need to be there. It puts the other person in an awkward position if they do reply. There's no good reply to hi other than hi back. And then where do you go from there? So you've just wasted 2 messages between you. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Vinod mentioned templates. I would say, look, if you're brand new to DMing people, templates are great. I actually say use a damn template. You know, if you find a good one, use it. No issue with that. You can send the same DM practically to 100 people. Very unlikely that someone's going to say, hey, how did this person first approach you? And then you compare notes and realize, oh, they use the exact same DM. What a monster. That is not going to happen. So you're pretty safe using a template if you're not used to it. When you get better at DMing, the trick is very simple, really. It's you want to establish common ground and you want to tell people why you're contacting them. That's basically it. So if you want the template from me, it's like, say I wanted to connect with this Spaces dojo, I'd be like, hey, I really like blue berets. They're my favorite thing in the world, especially when worn with round glasses. So there you go. I've shown that. I've at least shown looked at his profile picture. I hear you do a load of spaces. I love doing spaces. I'd love to connect with you, right? So there we go. We've done a good opener, and I'm like, by the way, I'm looking to do a space on quantum physics. Do you know anything about quantum mechanics, quantum computing? I'd love to do a space on it, and I'd love your input. Now, he's going to come back and probably say, I know a lot about AI, not so much about quantum computing. I don't know. But that's the ask. It's very straightforward. It's nice and short, and I've established a reason for him to connect with me. So there you go. That's the formula. That's what I would recommend you use in DMs. If you send hi to somebody, honestly, you know what? If you sent hi to someone and it has resulted in a useful conversation without 10 messages in the middle, send me a screenshot of that conversation and I will shout you out for 2 weeks solid every day saying this person is a master networker. Because I guarantee you it's never worked. It's just not without a lot of to and forward and someone who's got a lot of patience. So there's the challenge. Send me that screenshot if you've got it, and I will shout you out every single day for 2 weeks if you have. Back to you, Vinod.
With that, Mike to Excel.
Yeah, very good points there, Graham and Vinod. I wanted to say as well with commenting, I think that's a great way to build relationships. Just make sure to always try to keep it in a positive note. Just as Graham said, if someone is wrong for any reason, just be empathetic about what the mistake was, and because you're basically writing a comment for everyone to know that there's an error there, or there's something that you disagree with, because it's not good to start a relationship where you start in negative ways, saying, oh,
What happened, man?
I guess you faced some kind of network issues.
The joys of it, honestly. Why they only give you a minute to reconnect if you're the host, I have no idea. It just makes it such a pain. You have to try and restart the space. It should have like a button that says restart old space, and then it just sends everyone a DM saying, hey, come join us again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or
By the way, have you checked the Twitter web version? Like, they have sticker section already implemented it, but it's terrible actually. Super buggy.
even just this, that whoever is the co-host become the host at that point.
Oh, don't go making sensible suggestions like that. Oh, jeez.
Bro, it's not even July. I mean September, where it's gonna be hurricane season. I don't know why you're having internet issues. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
it could be maybe that you're walking away from the Wi-Fi. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, but something happened very weird in the last space where I would hear myself over and over in a loop. Yeah, it was like,
Yeah, same
it
thing.
was insane.
I can only hear Excel. Nobody.
Oh gosh, I was like, I don't like hearing myself, and I had to hear myself over and over. It was like a nightmare movie. I don't know.
Twitter space is like becoming super weird nowadays. Damn.
If you want weird, try joining from desktop. It's even worse there. It just mutes you randomly.
Yeah, that exactly. That's what I am talking about. Like yesterday, I was running a space and someone joined like from the desktop, and his mic is muted automatically.
So, just so you know, Vinod, I've not accepted co-host because I was literally going to go anyway. I'm just going to hang around for a couple of minutes just while you restart the space, get a few people back in here, hopefully. And then good luck. Hopefully it carries on without any further glitches, but we will see. It's Twitter Spaces. Probably not. It'll all fall apart again because that's just Spaces for you. I mean, it's so complicated getting people to be able to speak over the internet. We've not managed that before.
It doesn't happen from Elon Musk, because he was hosting the space the other day, and he has like a freaking millions of people without any interruption. I'm like, yo, what the why are we getting these issues in our spaces?
No, that's why he is the kind of the owner of Twitter now.
I mean, to be
Yeah, they're fixing bugs in production. That's what it does. That's what it does.
Nah, I mean, to be fair, Elon's probably got the microphone like plugged directly in the back of the server, so like it doesn't matter as much, you know. So
Oh god.
We had the really.
By the way, Vinod, I am happy to co-host if
Yeah,
you want.
sure. Thank you. I will send you the request. And we was in the rhythm, and oh, that's fine. That's fine, as Graham said. It's X, Twitter, whatever. Alex, I remember you was speaking when we got disconnected, so I want to give mic back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I remember clearly because I heard it many times over. Yeah, I was talking about like being positive. You know, the comment positive on a positive mood or tone when you're replying to comments, even if it's something that it's going to correct something or it's going to say that something's wrong. Sometimes, if you have such a contrarian opinion, at some point it might be even better not to comment at all. just hold it for yourself. But yeah, just try to comment in a positive note. That'll make a good spark to the relationships, and like not starting with a bad food. Except if you're commenting to Graham, well, that's a different case. I don't know how he likes his comments, but yeah, I think the first DM that I sent Graham was actually, "Where is my MacBook?" I have it recorded, so there you go. That's a good network. You should share that screenshot, Graham. You know, that's good networking right there.
I'm waiting for Graham to respond to that.
oh, sorry, am I meant to be
Exactly.
responding? I told you I was disappearing as we went. What am I responding to? Let's go.
Oh, Axel said his first DM to you.
Oh, don't tell me that Axel's first DM to me was hi, and I actually responded. That must have been when I had more patience. To be fair.
It was, where is my DM? Oh, sorry, where is my MacBook?
Oh yeah, no. You see, that's fine because that's continuing on a joke. So that works. That works as a DM because like that was part of something. I can't remember what the offer was to give a MacBook. I think I was joking in a space, but like that's a great first DM because it shows that you were paying attention. It continues the conversation. So yeah, nothing wrong with that as a first DM. Way better than hi.
Yep, kind of perfect opening, bringing the connection, bringing the momentum to the DM. So yeah, I want to shout out to Kelvin for joining this space. Kelvin, so thank you for you to you. I will reset the room. We was having really good momentum. My internet connection broke where I couldn't hear properly to Graham, and I thought it was his mic, but then it was mine. But by the time I fully realized it, it dropped. It completely dropped. But great, we are back. We are talking about how a junior developer, after 2 to 3 of experience, um, can go for a higher paying job. And the strategy include or start with job market, building some additional skill that researching the job market, finding what's going on in the market, adding those skills to your toolbox. And while you're building those new skills, you start working on networking. And then in future spaces, we will talk about uh, topics around interview, preparing for the interview and getting the job, like creating the your story around everything that you have done. One of the analogy that I have given initially is you have rented your house 2 years ago to your employer, but meanwhile in 2 years you have built, you have repaired, you have remodeled bunch of area, you probably have built a new room, but your employer is still paying you the salary that you or rent that you agreed 2 years ago. But this is the perfect timing for anybody who is in that situation to repaint and create your story for your interview, and then go for it. In a nutshell, we today we are talking about networking. Three type of people to network with: recruiter, hiring manager, and developer. And when we got disconnected before that, we was talking about strategies around commenting on other people post and DM. Around that, add a meaningful comment, and then when you send a DM, send a DM with something that connects you with this other person. Never use DM hi, because Graham has a special ability to given by Elon Musk. So he searched for all the hi, and then he go after them. Just joking, just kidding. All right, so
Not joking.
I'm getting better, I guess, with getting comfortable, I would say. This is my second space. I'm an introvert. I'm nervous, but I'm getting better. So let's talk more about DM. Let's talk about DMs, where there are things that we discuss, right? Number one, not having, not trying to connect with hundreds and thousands of people at once. You are connecting with some people, and then you're building a long-term relationship. So your first message means a lot to start the conversation. And it works similar how you would do the same thing in your office. At this point, I want to bring this element as well. We're talking about social network, building the connection outside the company, because that's where you're finding the new job. But similar techniques apply inside the company as well. So regardless whether you're working remote or in person, um, when you begin working in a company, you probably within that one team where you're working, contributing. But at some point, what you want to do is to reach out to people, developer outside your team, and then outside your department, and then you build connection with many people within this company. And when you do that, you have conversations such as water cooler. So each company has those type of spots where you can go, and you find somebody, you talk to them. Coffee machine, water coolers, great place to work, to build connection. Then similarly, when you're walking in hallway, coming back from this coffee machine, you see people, you say, you greet them, and you kind of talk. Over time, they recognize you, you recognize them, and then you build upon that. When you go, so similarly, when you're building the connection outside your team, there are moments when you being a developer working with infrastructure team, just an example, who are responsible for server or network or whatever, and those are your moment. You are in a meeting and you talk, you have an exposure. After the meeting, you can keep that momentum going with additional messages. uh, uh, if you're using Microsoft Team, use that, or Slack, or whatever. Why I'm bringing this? For two reasons. The way you build your network and your presence outside the company are kind of similar how you build the presence and visibility within the company. Now, if you keep that in mind, sometime it's easier to take one and apply to another one. I have people in my team, developers, senior developer in my team, who only know within this consumer team, and they do not know other developer who is working on, let's say, SharePoint or internal applications. These people can have a higher visibility by having those connection with other developer or other directors, other departments, right? That's what I'm talking about. So also apply within the company, and if you know one, you can apply the same principle to the second one. And that's why I wanted to bring that here. Again, one strategy is very helpful when you're looking for promotion. Today we are talking about job change, and that's why we're covering all about LinkedIn. But having this connection and analogy can help you in building connection, building DMs, connection through DMs. So when you're sending the messages to somebody, let's say in LinkedIn, you probably already have some kind of like, which is like greeting each other in hallway or coffee machine or commenting on their post, right? You've done that, and at some point going to their desk and having a conversation, or meeting them in a meeting, but having a before meeting or after meeting conversation, or in some cases you're sending them a direct message through your Teams or Slack, right? This is exactly what happening on LinkedIn as well, right? You're talking to a real person, you have liked, comment, and now you're sending a direct message, and then they will respond. And few days later, you go back and you touch the same thing. Again, having that analogy might help. That what this mean to connect with people over LinkedIn or Twitter. So I will take a quick pause there and see if anybody want to add any additional comment or suggestion to this. Go ahead.
Well, just quickly, I think it was really important when you said that these skills are transferable. Interestingly, I've got many highs from within my company. Right, so internal people in my company just say hi, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna respond this until you send me what you really want. So yeah, like these techniques apply both, outside, Twitter and LinkedIn, but also apply within your organization. Like, it's great when someone within your organization contacts you with the purpose, and if they want to, have a call with you, what's the estimated time for that call? What's the reason for that call? And stuff like that. It does help a lot. So definitely, it's very transferable. So yeah, if you get good at this, it's a good skill to have outside of only like Twitter and LinkedIn.
Yeah, and in inside the office, you even have the luxury to see the organization chart and see where this person fit, even though we may not be encouraged to respond. So think about LinkedIn or Twitter to get a response from someone. So great comment, Excel there. I don't know who was first between Vishal and Uttam. Uh,
Udba, Udba was
okay.
first.
Hey, hey, man, first of all, you're doing great, bro. So don't feel nervous or anything. This is like fantastic. This is like a really good one. And man, we're Floridian, bro. We don't get nervous. We go to the beach to take our nervousness out. You know what I'm saying? So, one thing that I want to add on this LinkedIn, actually two things, and that's something that I've been seeing a lot of posts having these issues, where people not engaging the proper way. First thing first is the comment. So let's say if someone you following, or maybe you have, you're connected to, and then they say like, hey, I just promoted to a new job. Guess what people are gonna do? They're not gonna take time to actually go and post the correct way of commenting, right? What they do is they just, when you go to the comment site, they always have this pre-generated message like, oh, congratulations on your new thing. And then guess what they're gonna do? Click on it and call it a day. But you're not understanding that when you scroll it down, there's about 10 people who doing that, meaning like using the same exact template where it just say either congrats, or it's going to be like congratulations on your new, milestone or whatever. But take a minute, go through their first. You don't need to post right away. Go to their, if you're not, some people are following it, they just don't follow for the sake of like actually, meant to be following. Just they want to just like, oh, I wanna just have more followers or maybe more connection on LinkedIn, and they're just gonna go ahead and connect, right? But take a moment, go to their profile, see what are they doing, what kind of degrees they have, what kind of what kind how many years of work experience do they have, and what company, and then go in and comment meaningful like, hey, congratulations, I see that get promoted from this position to this position. Just have ads of something that human to human does, not like freaking robotic, where you're just gonna go in and congratulations, call it a day. Guess what happened? He's not gonna respond to it, and he's not gonna be like, hey man, like no one is giving me the proper way of wishing, where it's supposed to be done in a proper way, right? So take time, go to someone's profile, and then comment on it and be meaningful. Just like as what Graham said, you can rant, you can do, but these one of the other things that you can do is as build a strong connection. Second thing is, let's say you're new to the LinkedIn. What a lot of people tell you is like, hey, if you don't have 500 plus connection, you're not gonna stand out at LinkedIn. Guess what people are gonna do? Start connecting randomly. Connect. But you don't even know who you're connecting to, right? So what you will do instead of connecting, just go in and hit connect. Create a small template. Say, hey, my name is this. This is what I do, and I'm looking forward to connect to work on certain things, or I'm trying to connect to you to developers who's in the same path as I am, and then just before you connect, there's always a message system. Just connect a message and then hit connect. It's like, hey, like I sent you a message, I want to connect. What this person does is he will respond to it, which means that you're gonna have a connection, one-to-one connection, instead of you sending it, and guess what, he will respond to it after maybe a year or maybe a couple months instead of doing it right away. And maybe he probably has some opportunities that he can provide you while you connecting. But if you don't approach in the right way, guess what he's gonna do? He's like, man, I don't know who this person is. He'll either decline it or he's just gonna ignore it for another month or two, and then he will connect with you, right? So follow the proper way of connecting with people. Be who you are. Don't be like robotic where you just like following it for the sake of getting a job. Right? You doing that, but you have to build, because it's not just about job. You're building a community that will help you more than a job, which means that you don't have to be okay. I just connected this person, now I want a job. Hey, can you help me with this job? No. Not like that. Go to the groups I just mentioned earlier before this space got interrupted. That go to the groups, follow the group, connect within your own community. Like me and Vinod, we live in Florida, right? We have communities that we can connect to. It could be a developer community. It could be I'm new to development, but I do have a lot of communities that I join into, and that's for system engineer, because that's who I am. I work as a system engineer, but now I'm switching from system engineering to the web development. So now I'm trying to reiterate the whole grouping area where I have to now connect to different groups or different path. So what I do is first, instead of connecting directly to a different group, I see who's already a web developer or maybe a programmer within that group that I'm already in, and try to connect from that to switch to the different groups. So that's something I really wanted to say, and because that's what I've been looking at the LinkedIn, and I just wanted to point out: just be who you are. Don't just be robotic in these platforms, because at the end of the day, you're building community, whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter, either or.
Wow, man, lot of value there, lot of great tips. I will not try to summarize because I won't do it justice. So I will just straight away go to Vishal. But thank you for sharing all that.
Uh, are you all able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm actually unable to recognize the voice because I'm only getting Vinod's animation. So I don't know who is speaking. I'm just hearing the opinion. Uh, I had one thing which was being discussed about likes. Like I wanted to share one thing. Like I was reading recently that Twitter's algorithm, like the thing which we are discussing, if you want to network with someone, you need to have those people in front of you first of all to network. Like the thing I did where I started, whenever someone comments on your post, you just like that comment. The Twitter algo works like if you do not like that, it goes into a negative, and if you like that comment, it goes into a positive. So like suppose I comment on Vinod's post and Vinod likes my comment, so I see more accounts like Vinod in my feed. Like I can give you a direct example which just happened 2 minutes ago. We have Leon here in the space, and I just commented. I have never seen his tweet. I just commented under the tweet. We interacted. He liked my comment, and now I'm getting Leon's tweets in my recommendation. So that's how fast it happens. And the one mistake like I did, I wanted to share with everyone. I was interacting with people where I was interacting with geopolitical accounts where I was discussing something and they used to like my comment, and my feed was bombarded with political this thing, posts. And I was like, okay, I like it's okay for 1 hour, half an hour. I do not want this for whole day. And like it's been almost 10-20 days and I'm still muting those accounts, but it will take time for the algo to understand. So if you want to network, the main thing is, if anyone comments on your post, just like their comment. You may not, if you disagree, you can comment and tell something. Don't write something negative, but like their comment, because the algo will push them, and they'll get more recommendations of your circle accounts. So I just wanted to mention this point.
Thank Vishal. And I'm, I guess you're saying that if you as a developer post something and somebody comment on that post, you go and like that.
Yeah, I need to like that comment.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I was not aware of that particular algorithm part, and but that was a great add-on. And the way I understand, and I think if somebody is not very active on LinkedIn and they want to build their their feed in a way that meaningful to you and show them a lot of value, there are a couple of steps that you probably want to do. Number one, unfollow whoever you're following, and then you start building by your feed will show information related to what you have in your profile, and then in feed you start liking, commenting, reposting, and that will bring a lot of people that are some content that is you are interested in, and then you start liking, following some of those people that you really resonated with. After that, you can use a LinkedIn search mechanism to find either company or hiring managers or developers or different other type of people, and then you start following them based on what they are posting. It will completely revamp your experience in terms of how much value you get from that. Vishal shared one of his experience that he like or followed something related to geopolitical, and then it completely bombarded his feed. So you can get a lot of value from LinkedIn as well as Twitter, depending upon how you are interacting with your home feed and who you are following. So that's a great advice there, Vishal. I will go back to you in just a second. I want to remind everyone, this is an open space. You can request the mic, you will immediately get it. And then I want to make a request that please retweet this space so more people can know about it. And with that, I will go to Vishal.
I forgot to mention one point. Like, I was reading, the algo has three ways where it judges. Like, it's cold, warm, and hot. Like, suppose Vinod posts something, and suppose I comment on it, and Vinod does not reply to it, it will go in negative, like cold. I will not see more accounts like Vinod's account. And if Vinod likes my comment, it will go in warm. And if Vinod replies to my comment, it will go in hot. So then I'll see more accounts like Vinod. Like, in fact, I discovered Vinod's account by this way only. Like, I was commenting on, I don't remember. I think I was commenting on Kelvin, or I don't know. I think maybe Timo, someone. And we were interacting. He liked my comment. He replied to my comment. And then in my feed, I started getting amazing people's recommendation. So I am able to network only when I have those people around. Like, you need to have food in front of you to eat it. So to get that food, you need to let the algo do half of your networking work. Don't take that stress, and the rest of the part you can do, of course. That's what I want.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just like MC Hammer's post. I hope I don't get that on my feed now.
Go ahead.
No, I said that. I don't know if you hear. I said like it's like while Vishal was saying about the algorithm, I said like I just like bunch of like MC Hammers like the gif that Graham posted. So I said like I hope the algorithm doesn't reset and give me all those gifs in next 10 minutes.
You are doomed.
Why would you be hoping that? Like, seriously, like, there'd be nothing wrong with a feed full of MC Hammer doing the shuffle. Like,
I
let's
would,
face it, that would be the perfect feed.
hell yeah, I'm down for that, man.
You are doomed. With that, Space Dojo, welcome back. my internet dropped and something happened, and the space just dropped. So welcome back. And with that, I will go to Tim. Tim O'Connor.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. Uh, just a quick note on building a network in Twitter. One of the great ways that I started building Twitter when I reactivated was create a private list where you put in all the people that you feel that are like the legend of your space that you are wanting to network, and just forget all the other feeds and just hanging on that feed like 50 to 100 people, and then like comment, not like robotic stuff like mentioned, but if they're people that you like and you have gotten value from their tweets or their threads and whatnot, and it's a then interact with these people. And the idea of building community is I'm not a big advocate of doing algorithm tricks. It's more like be yourself and be authentic, and try to talk with the people and get maybe some answers and whatever. Help anyone that you can help, because there's always someone that's way behind on their career where you are now. So that's a good way to build a network around you, and obviously try to build a network around people that are more skilled than you, because they have always something to offer where you can learn from. Then when it comes to internal networking, that's my favorite topic, because that's how I have come from something totally else than from a tech career into being a software project manager and a cybersecurity team member. So it's all about knowing the right people and learning in your company who are in that space where you're wanting to go, and then slowly, gradually start picking up stuff that you could help them with, like QA testing, or you could be like a just like a barista and just look at their website and find few bugs and then tell about them, and gradually build your reputation as someone who is into tech, or someone who is into web dev, or someone who's into the dark path of cybersecurity, and grind away. It's been 10 years in the making for me, and now I'm in a happy place in my company. I don't know really anything about LinkedIn. I'm there, but it's mainly just connecting with my peers in my company, and then some randos. But there are groups in LinkedIn, and if those groups are active on your space, I recommend joining them, because I've gotten some contacts and even job offers from there, even though I'm not looking for a job at all, but just headhunters tapping into the possible pool of employees. But yeah, I guess that's my short saying, and I have to go back inside where my family is asleep already, because it's late here in North Europe. So yeah, thanks for the space, and I can comment on the discussion area if need be, but can't do much talking anymore. But yeah, great space, great topics, great speakers, amongst the legends again. So enjoy people, learn from these guys. They're great. They know what they're talking. And grab the mic, like somebody says always. That this is your place to network. If you're staying in the silent crowd, no one will learn about you. So hop on and talk. Thanks.
Thank you. That was great. I'm calling you Tim. I know your name is Tim O Code. Is Tim okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Timo is my real name. You could spell it like Team Zero,
Okay.
but just
Timo. I will say
but yeah,
Timo
Timo.
then.
Yeah, yeah,
So some great advice there. I wanted to ask you follow-up question, but I know you said
yeah, yeah. I'll still be
okay,
here
then
for a few
then
minutes.
then I will do that. One first, your advice about private Twitter list. We had couple of discussion here prior, but this is great that I mean really powerful that you created a private Twitter list and then you use that and not the home screen or home feed, and it completely changed, right, your Twitter experience and the amount of value that you get. um, Really powerful. And I don't know how powerful or how active Tweet Deck is yet, but in Ship 30 for 30, I learned a technique where you add this list in TweetDeck, and then you can even optimize on top of that, such as if you receive if it's a number of likes and different other things. So great advice there. You share that you have used the networking within enterprise, within office, and you have moved into cybersecurity project management experience, or the role. I wanted to ask if you can just share that journey, what you was doing, what worked for you, and uh, I think it will be valuable for everybody out there. While we are just talking theories, but you will be able to share some exact practical thing that has worked for you. So, if you have time, I would love to request you to share that.
Yeah, I just rerouted my dog and we're taking another spin around the block, so it's okay, I can talk a bit. So yeah, to answer the question, I'm originally Bachelor of Science in Radiography and X-ray Tech, and spent a decade in the front lines of the biggest ER hospital here in Finland. And from there, kind of got to see all the people. Like we had customers that each of our customer was having their worst day of their life or the last day of their lives, pretty much. So I got a good teaching of soft skills, how to evaluate the person in several seconds in order to understand, are we gonna end up this meeting good help for both parties, or what's gonna happen. And from there, kind of after seeing the horror for a decade, I applied for the governmental authority that is overwatching all the radiation use here, and got the spot. Used my soft skills and persuasion tactics, and field of 30 applicants, and pretty much the apex position in this for this educational course that I've taken, and got acquainted with a very horrible software that's used for the registration software or for the licensing, and started horrible just for hobby. And from there on, pitched those bugs to the QA sysadmin person, and those fixed things. And from there on, my name was kind of highlighted and got into the QA team and testing, and from there gradually got known with the correct people, and slowly, when the opportunity arose for talks on remodeling or rebuilding the register software, at that point I was running data analytics from the database directly with SQL and Python, running data, building reports and whatever for myself, and to help my colleagues avoid the horror of MS Excel and instead build automatic reports to them. And from there on, just grinding away for 10 years to end up my boss realizing that she didn't know what I'm doing anymore. So she pitched that I be transferred into the IT section, and from rest is history. Now I'm in there, and the new boss said that you seem to be like a nerd. How would you like to help us with the cyber stuff too? Because there's people who are retiring, and it's a slow path, but it's a kind of easy path as long as you like the culture and the work environment. You have nothing to lose. You can do it basically anywhere as long as you like the place. So hope that helps anyone to get ideas how they could start exploiting their own company and telling good stories how you are invaluable in this and that. area in tech.
Thank you so much, Tim. I hear a couple of things in your story. Number one, you your hard work and consistency since you was in hospital or when you was fixing bugs, you were consistently doing your work, and then people was recognizing you in whether it was the QA team or whether your boss suggesting that you have overgrown for her team and suggesting to another team, and they accepted you because they probably already heard what you have done. And then I'm hearing that you navigated your path with whatever opportunity come on your way, and you focus, you was consistent and you did the work there, which basically took you to the new places that you probably have not thought about 10 years ago. So that's what I heard from your story, um, which is great. This is a great example of somebody who is building the presence and visibility within the company, inside the company, and the company is doing more things for Timo based on the work that he has done. So great, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, somebody gets ideas to how they could probably proceed.
Yeah, awesome. So again, welcome everyone. I see a lot of new faces here. On the speaker I have Raviraj, Decibel, thank you so much for joining. We have been to spaces together before. Um, Adam and Adam, to Adam, Leo, thank you so much. Everyone who is here, I really appreciate your time, um, trusting that we will be able to provide some value in return to the time that you're spending with us. This is an open space. Feel free to request the mic, and it will automatically assign to you. And then also, please retweet so that other people can know about this space. And um, this is a social network, and we are here to meet with people. So please follow each other. Look at your right, look at your left, and then send them a DM and start the conversation. Use this time, use this space as your opportunity to initiate that first conversation. Do not send hi, but send a message such as, hey, Timo, I joined a space with you, or I joined a junior dev is networking space with you. It was great to hear your story, and this is one thing that I really like about your story. So I gave you a template, or send a message. Click on Kelvin. His name is KOO. Click on Kelvin. Quickly read what he has been posting, what he does. He's a back-end engineer. He's really passionate about back-end engineering. Send him a message. Hey Calvin, I was with you in junior dev networking space, and there I got to interact with your profile. I see that you're really passionate about Woo, and I would love to connect with you. I gave you a template, use it, send DMs to each other, follow the people who are on the space, who are on the stage, and who everybody who has joined this space. Follow each other. Do not follow Graham, but follow everyone else. Um, no, please follow Graham as well. So I tried my best. I hope I achieved 10% of how well Graham does it.
You did great, honestly. You covered all the points. It was wonderful. I loved it, especially the not following me part. That was the key. That's the only bit that matters when you're doing one of those rants. So 10 out of 10, Vinod. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, all right. So let's keep moving. I will take another 30-second pause regarding sending DMs, and regarding talking about how to start this. Understand, we're talking about junior developer with 2 to 3 year experience, right? They're good or becoming good at building software. They are becoming good understanding everything else other than coding, because as we discussed last Sunday, that coding is just 30% of this big picture. There are 70% effort that goes into understanding what customer want, working with other developer, writing working with the UX designer to understand what they really the design itself, and then working as a team to define the flow of this application, working on work breakdown structure, working on deployment, testing, you name it, communication. There are a lot goes around their environment, and we are talking about them to start sending DMs. How do they start? It, the very first DM may be daunting. Um, so I want to open floor just for a few seconds, but I will take a few second pause to see if anyone want to share their advice on how a person who has never sent a DM, who is not even active on any of the social network, how can they begin? How can we help them reduce the friction to to start? I see hand from Excel, so go ahead, Excel.
Yeah, thank you, Vinod. I think one of the tricks that I would recommend is maybe the first thing to do is not actually send a DM, but if you like comment on that person's posts, he might not see you the first time, he might not see you the second time, but the third one, he will notice your presence because you have been writing often. And then once you have built that relationship over like public comments, it is much easier to send a DM, and kind of that person will know who you are, would have seen your face, would have interacted with you in the past, maybe answered to a comment of yours. And then obviously you can use the techniques that were mentioned before, using a template, or you maybe because you have been commenting on his post or her posts, you can actually comment, write at the end about one of those comments that you wrote and one thing that you found interesting. So I think that period of warming up makes things much easier at the moment of DMing some other person. So that'll be my advice to everyone. Just try to ask. And also, if you're going to ask like a particular question, and this happens as well a lot for developers, like sometimes you want to make connections because you have a doubt about something in React or whatever it is. I would recommend, instead of sending a DM, just try to ask in public too as well. First, it's like content material. So you're generating content, which sometimes in Twitter you don't know what to write about. But yeah, you have a question, write that question down. And as well, if you are trying to contact someone that it's a very busy person, doesn't have time to read all the DMs. When you write a comment in public or a question in public, that person might be more inclined to answer that, because it's not going to help only you, the one that's making the question, but it's going to help potentially many, many more people that is going to see the answer to that question. So yeah, I do recommend asking in public. That's a great way to warm up and send in the DMs. I think another point as well is maybe as a newbie, you might not realize you come into Twitter that some of the DM messages go to like a spam folder, unfortunately. And sometimes it's hard to check all the messages that come through there, especially for accounts that are more active. They get many, many, many DMs. So your DM might be ignored, not on purpose, but just because they just go into this folder and it's just too many DMs. So the other the other benefit of doing, commenting in public and building that relationship in public is that, you have built that relationship, you have built that rapport, and maybe you see that person afterwards in the Twitter space, and you can say like, oh hey, I sent you a DM, did you see it? And just like, no, sorry, it just fell into spam. But yeah, there are some tips for all of you. Just comments are great.
Great point, Axel.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Pratish, over to you.
Yeah, Ravi sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay if you want to add anything. I just want to add few things related to this. Okay, so so basically, I also receive DM. There are majorly two type of DM I receive. One is related to the technology. Okay, someone can ask some technical question like how I will receive something. And second type of DM I get is basically if you can refer me in your company, and that's completely okay to me. I always try to refer people, but some people are asking me to refer, and they do not give complete details. Even they give me the link of some third party website from where I have to download the resume, and then I have to and then I have to put it on my my company website. It's very hard for me to download the resume from other site. You can send it directly to me, right? If you are asking for referral, you should always send me the details about your email ID. I'm trying to copy your email ID from your resume, but I was not able to do that because it was some kind of link was there. So whenever you are sending any kind of referral to anybody, give detail in the message itself. Do not ask anybody to download it from somewhere, some third party location. No, people will not do that. People are helping you here, so it doesn't mean that you can order him to do something which doesn't seem valid to me. So I usually refer people, and second, and one of the most important thing is that if you are applying for any position, there is two things. Uh, you can look into the career portal of any big companies, Google, Facebook, in my company Ericsson also. So you will find some job details around your profile, right? So if you are finding a job detail, send me the job detail also, so that I can refer you for the specific position. Otherwise, obviously, I will do it for the generic, but try to do some work before sending the referral. So this is something which I feel is basically important, because you do not send a random message saying that can you please refer me your company without giving any detail. So what I will do with that particular DM, I usually ignore that DM, right? But whoever has sent me the details, correct details along with the resume, along with the position, and if there is it may possible that in current time there is no position for your role, but it will come in future, right? Maybe in future. So if you will not find complete job description, that's fine. But you should what you have with your hand, that you should definitely send, right? The details, resume. So this is something which I want to add. Second thing is that people usually see my profile and say, okay, this person has done some job in solution architect. He has done some, he's AWS certified. So similar. So people ask similar basic question like how I can migrate my Python web application to AWS. See, this is very generic. Do not have to ask from a people. Like you can search it over the internet. And then he asked me, can you please suggest me what are the AWS service I can utilize for this? I don't even know the complete requirement of your website or portal, whatever it is. So how I would suggest what AWS service you can use? And this is basic thing you will do with ChatGPT, you will do Google, you will find everything. And then again, I'm giving me, okay, so first of all, give me these details, what your website is basically doing, and is there any database, what kind of database you are using, what data it stores. So that person, again, without replying to that particular message, he again asked me a different type of question, saying that you suggest me what to use. So do not ask these kind of technical questions. People will block you. If you want any expert advice from anyone, be specific. Be specific for your problem. Do not ask to how to build a website in React.js. This is very simple thing. You can search it over internet, right? If somebody is replying you, value the time. This is very important. So whenever people ask me a specific question, I always answer. But some people are kind of they do not ask specific. They just say hi, hello, and ask anything. So these kind of messages are kind of super annoying to me, and then I feel that should I reply or not? What should I do basically? So these kind of two point I wanted to highlight so that people should aware. Is basically what I have seen is basically the people who are moving to the IT industry or very new or not even graduate or the fresher, they ask these kind of questions. Most of the time I have seen the experienced people do not ask questions like this. They always ask specific question. But this is the awareness which I wanted to bring on the stage so that people should aware about it. Yeah.
Ravi, you're one of the kindest person I've seen in Twitter or LinkedIn. What you just explained, that what you have to go through, made me think that you're one of the kindest person. Great meeting with you, by the way. I guess this is the first time we are talking, and I see your Twitter profile, that you're a solution architect, AWS, you 12-year experience and tech blogger and open source. A lot there. Same with your LinkedIn. So amazing. And then you go out of the way to and I can guarantee that other people does not. So this is a great story, that how when you send DM to someone, how they react and how they go through. And then there was some really concrete advice that which is where I want to take the conversation anyway. So I think uh, when you're sending the DMs and in context to our conversation today, you're doing this so that it will help you in your job search, and you're asking for somebody, number one, refer me to the company. And I know Raviji said that he will do that, but most of the time, if you're referring someone and then people will take this very seriously, I'm not saying Raviji does not, but I'm saying that many people will have that hesitation, that a random person asking to refer whether or not they should, and building a rapport before prior to asking them for a refer would work much better. um, and like Alex said, that Excel said that start with comments, then go to the DM, and when you're sending the DM, which is where I will stop, that what Raviji said, that send full detail, uh, attach your resume, send the job link. You can go extra mile to make it easier for the other person to refer you. And that's kind of what the message that I got from this conversation, that if you want somebody to help, first build a repo, then ask. And that's the whole reason we were saying that when you start working on adding some additional skill, you're not ready for interview, and you have a month, 2 month, and 3 months before you start applying. You start building that repo, so that when it's time for you to ask for a favor, other people already know you. And when you send message to someone like Ravi, you sending that detailed message with your information, what is your background, why you think this particular position is a fit for, and then the link to the job details and all. Make it easy for that other person uh, to refer you, build the trust, and then you will have more possibilities that this person, even though they're busy, they would just copy the information and will do the next thing. So thank you so much for sharing all that, and your profile is very impressive.
Yeah, thanks, Vinod, for the opportunity for speaking out. So it was just a experience which I wanted to share, so that people should aware what they should do. So because sometimes it's very annoying for me, because I have to download something for you. Why you do not set it directly to me, right? You are asking for something, and then again you are asking me to do some extra job. So if you will give me all details, I will most probably I will reply back within a day or so, right? So it's very important that you should ask the right question. You should give the right detail. You should not ask me to do something extra for you, because that is annoying, completely annoying for me. So I usually refer people within a day, and then I ask them to fill all the details. And another thing also which I want to highlight. So for example, in my company, when I refer somebody, so it doesn't take more details from me. It sends email to the people whom I've referred. So then that email is basically for the GDPR compliance. So you have to sign the agreement saying that okay, you can use my data. Then it will allow you to add more data. Sometime I reply to the people saying that okay, you have to, now I have referred you. You are linked with my profile, and now you will receive an email from Ericsson, and then you have to fill all the details. That person even don't even feel the details. So what I feel is basically, because that is completely visible to me. So sometimes I feel that, does he just send the email just for fun or what? He really want the job or what? Because this is the kind of thing. Because if people will do like this, it's very hard to know that who are basically actually interested in job, and who are basically not even interested. So very because this is kind of creating perception in my mind, right? Whom I should refer, whom I should not. So people should not do this also, because if you do not have time to apply with all details, do not do that, because it's wasting my referral also, it's wasting my time also, and your time also, and it is also giving a very bad impression to me. So that next time onwards, if people will send me, I have to think, should I refer him or not? So it's very hard. Sometimes it's very hard because of the some people. It is just creating a mess. It looks like mess to me, because people think that should I refer or not. It's just, yeah. What should I say more? But yeah, I just wanted to highlight this thing also. This is a very important thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you, and thank you for going out of the way and helping so many people by referring them and then answering their questions. So again, respect. I want to shout out to Raul. Raul and I had been friends for a long time. Thank you so much for joining. You're not late to the party. We still have some time. Um, so thank you for joining. We are entering into the last hour. We will slowly get into I guess the last topic and then set the stage for the next one. But first, let's go to Pratyush, Uttap, and Vishal. Pratyush, go ahead.
Yeah. Mostly excellent. We covered some really good points the commenting around other stores, especially those who are nearby on the Twitter or LinkedIn as well. I was talking about the Twitter. Yes, last year around the July August thing, I joined the Twitter, and uh, commenting is one way to get introduced to the folks, and one other way is to join the Twitter Spaces and try to speak. I have joined one of the first Twitter Spaces of YK, and I have still remember Graham is one of the person. He's one of the kindest person. Like he literally welcomed me in a so much pretty and lovely way. Like I never felt that I am new to the family. I was joined for so long. Like that's really amazing, actually. Yeah, but yes, sometimes it happens like when you are newbie and you don't know what is going on. You're like, I have remembered, I have literally when I jumped to the Twitter spaces, I have literally opened everyone's profile and I'm so, oh my god, they are so very engineers, so wow, they are working in this and that, and this is kind of overwhelming. I can get, and also when you see new things, so for me also, I'm a very curious person, and whenever I see the new term, yes, that's what they are doing, what they are actually doing. That's something, and it's our habit, especially for Indian folks, like for up to class 12 or up to high school, we used to like spoon feed things. Like whenever we have doubt, we just ask our teacher or something. Never try to explore what's around it. But we need to change this actual habit for the so that sometimes it happens like when we see around a new topic and around anything, just shoot a DM like I saw that topic that way. Maybe that's a basic question. And yes, I can feel now after 1 year it's super annoying whenever someone just DM me like what is open source. I can understand his feeling. Like, how can you make open source contribution? It's the very basic thing. You have to go through some videos. You have to learn things. Yeah, that's the basic thing. But when you are a new boy, total new boy, you don't have any idea. You're totally exposed to the kind of the new world. You don't know about it. So it's totally working and it's totally fine. You can learn from experiences, and Tech Twitter is really helpful community, and they will really help you, will guide you in the steps. Yeah. So just keep doing all the things, keep engaging with the community, keep helping people. And one of the rule is be humble always. Don't show your ego or attitude. It will lead you nowhere. That's a simple thing. Be humble.
Thank you, Pratyush. Big shout out to Pratyush, only 21 year old, and he's already building the foundation for him. Just I always say that the career is like 40-year long, and guess where Pratyush will reach. Just the sky is the limit that he's making all the move. So thank you for sharing that, Pratyush.
Thanks, Vinod. And I also shout out to you also. I have interacted, and let me share Vinod's insights. I had literally kind of felt somehow depressed situation, and that's why I just commented somewhere around one topic. And Vinod is the one who responded me, and that's how our conversation actually started. I met to him, I literally interacted with him. Thanks a lot. Shout out to you always.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Uh, Reminder to everyone: we're talking about junior developer with 2 to 3 of experience, how they can use networking to double their earning, get a high-paying job. This is an open space. Anybody can request the mic. It will be automatically given based on the setting, and then please retweet so more people can know about this. And with that, I will go to Uttab.
Hey, thank you. Hey, by the way, if you please let me know if I'm sounding way too disturbing because I'm on a highway right now. It says I-4, and this damn I-4 has been under construction for 2 decades. So just letting you all know that if I sound like a robot, just know that it's not my signal. It's just damn like
No,
I'm
it's
on a
40,
highway.
you're sounding 40% lower. That's okay.
Just wanted to add one more thing in terms of LinkedIn. The best way to get like kind of stand out is a lot of people put their skills, but they never actually takes time to take an exam, like a mini test that LinkedIn offer. What I mean by that is like, let's say you, for example, you have a experience, let's say in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I'm actually talking to someone who actually like starting off, let's say, right? And then you go ahead and you go to LinkedIn and under skills you put HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? Now, what happened is if you don't take an exam, I mean, not exam, I would say exam. It's more like a test, right? And it will give you two chances. After that, it will be disabled for like a couple of months. But try to pass that, and let's say if you pass that, you'll stand out on your profile, which means that a lot of people can endorse you based on your skills, and that actually endorsement can help you boost your profile to a little bit more higher on the in your more like a in what do you call it in um, like an analytics way, like it's gonna go way too high, right? So I actually experienced because I listed a bunch of experience there, but I mean, like skills there, but I never take chance to take the simple like mini 10 questions test. I did that and I see a boost on my profile, right? Because I have three or four people give me endorsement. That's something that you can also leverage of while you connecting with people. Tell them, hey, I have the skills. I took the test. Do you mind giving me endorsement on that, right? And they will. It's not gonna take them chance. All you gotta do is just click endorse, and then you got endorsement. But what happened is that endorsement can boost your profile like in no time. So I would say highly recommend everyone, whoever is listing the skill, take some minute to take the exam, right? And I'm keep saying exam, but that is exam basically, right? So take it and then pass it. If you cannot pass it, don't worry. It's not something because LinkedIn, the way LinkedIn works is if you don't pass, it's not going to post on your profile unless you pass. And if you pass, you can share that as a post, and people can like it, and then they're start going to give you endorsement based on your skill. So that's something I totally forgot to mention earlier. But keep in mind when you're posting all the skills in your skill tab.
They did not pass me for C sharp exam that I took about a month ago, and just was one attempt, and they said come back after 6 months. And I have worked in C sharp for like 15, 16 years. I was so sad. I didn't even prepare. I just saw that option. I said, all right, I'm gonna give the test. And after like 10 questions, I said, nope, come back in 6 months. I'm so sad.
I feel you, man. It happened with me with the HTML, but I ended up passing it. But it happened, man. I was like, man, I just created the whole website and I can answer this simple question.
Thank you for sharing that. This is what we have done so far, building toward it, right? You're using LinkedIn to find the job, and you're using the networking. One of the things that will happen when you send your resume, you apply for a job, when you send a resume, they will go to your LinkedIn profile. I know I do that. For every candidate that I have interviewed, I have visited. Oh, Graham just left. He was saying bye and I didn't recognize. So cool. Thank you. Thank you, Graham. So I have interviewed more than 100 people so far, right? 100 developers in last couple of years, and I have done that for each and every person. And I would go to their LinkedIn profile and I will see their name, what they have posted on this first page, and I will notice this, that what certification, what education they have done. So this is a great advice. And I guess in coming week when we will talk about job application and all, we will cover this part as well. That when while you're applying for job, and when you set your LinkedIn profile to open, either publicly or just within privately within the system, it helps recruiter and hiring manager to be able to find you. These companies pay a premium subscription for LinkedIn to allow them, their recruiter, to find candidate. And what you have posted on your homepage, LinkedIn profile, makes a big difference. The keywords that you have used, hashtag that you have used, what you have written in about us, what you have posted in your experience and experience and education means a lot. And on top of that, what Uttab just shared, that you can take exam and LinkedIn will give that add that as part of the search criteria that other people are using, not the search criteria but whatever algorithm that they have, because they themselves have validated you that you have this particular skills, right? So they will use that as a trust mechanism, plus endorsement and recommendation. I want to add recommendation as well there, because if your colleague or managers or a stakeholder or your client have given you recommendation, that will become part of your landing page. So anyway, going back to the point, we will talk in detail that hiring managers and recruiters, they are searching, your profile will come into their search result, and what Uttab just shared will make a difference, make a big difference in your possibility to appearing in those search results, which mean a direct call to you and not from you applying and then this finding it. So great point there, Uttab. We'll go to Vishal. Your hands is up for some time. So we'll go to Vishal and then
I have 2 points to make, but before that, I want a small shout out to Ravi because the thing which he mentioned, getting so many DMs and having so much kind and being so much patient with, I cannot even imagine. Uh, the first thing that I want to mention is, I don't know how many of you know that have every LinkedIn employee gets 10 LinkedIn premium free for a month, which get wasted because they get those and they every month they get 10 premiums free. So if you are job searching, a premium helps a lot as you can DM people easily. So if you know anyone who is working at and who is working at LinkedIn, you can message them directly. They have messages open. Even a normal person who doesn't have a premium can message them. reach out to them and just ask them that I'm searching a job and I need a premium. They'll happily give it to you. It's a 6-month premium where you get opportunity to do courses and you get a lot of LinkedIn features where you can apply to companies, you can search about posts, you can search about skills. It helps a lot and it's freely available. Just use this for your benefit as it's available. And the second point that I wanted to make, I had a doubt that when we DM someone, we are really excited and we expect a reply. And but as Ravi and even Axel told that that DM might go in the spam folder, or the other person is very busy. You cannot think only from your perspective, but you feel like you're enthusiastic and you feel a little bit sad and you expect a reply. But if you do not get a reply, like should you just keep on waiting, or like for how much you wait? And because if you send another message, that will again look very annoying to the front person. So for how much time should we wait, or should we send a second message? And like what should we send a second message if we send? Like how should we navigate the situation if the first DM is not answered?
I will answer quick. I would wait at least 3 days, which is what I personally do. I don't know if this is the right thing or not, but I would wait 3 days, but I won't wait more than 7 days, 5 days, because then you are being proactive by sending another message. You're helping them remember and not feel really bad if they completely miss. So I would say between 3 to 5 days. If anybody want to share their thought, please, well, you're welcome. Okay, so with that, we'll go to Pratyush.
Yeah, I have a small question actually, like for a person who is trying to network with others or trying to hunt a job, like which platform is better, like LinkedIn? What's the kind of difference between LinkedIn and Twitter? And I can say like I have used LinkedIn for some, and the posts are currently actually super annoying. The kind of similar posts and similar things they are like kind of reposting the same thing, like. And nowadays also Twitter is doing kind of same things. So those AI tools post are super annoying. You all know, but yes, jokes apart. But there's another kind of difference between those two platforms actually.
Uttab, you want to answer?
Yeah, so just to first thing is both are social media, right? But the first thing is LinkedIn is catered towards the professionals, right? The whole point of LinkedIn is all the professionals from all around the world get together and get connected with each other, right? Twitter, on the other hand, Twitter is like it could be for anyone. You can build a community and you can use Twitter to literally take your anger out. Literally, you can just say a bunch of crazy things and just feel light at heart, right? You can use Twitter for anything, but the main purpose of LinkedIn is you want to show people who you are, what you have done throughout your life as a professional level, right? What certifications you got, what kind of education you got, and then you connect with people, like-minded people, right? Someone that maybe you're admire of. I followed like Danny Thompson, right? He's a big in Twitter, but I've been following him, Danny, from LinkedIn way before I even joined Twitter, right? I'm in a big fan of this dude, the way he speaks, the way and then I've been following him on YouTube. I didn't even know this guy was existing in Twitter because I was not in Twitter before, right? But I was following him on YouTube. I was following him in LinkedIn. I was trying to go to every single space, like not space, but like a Twitch channel that he had. I think he's doing a lot of speeches there, so watch listen to. But your main thing is any achievement that you get, you want to first post on LinkedIn, let's say, and then you want to post that in Twitter, just because Twitter is somewhere you can build community, right? Let's say if I'm doing, let's say, 100 days of code, all right, my 100 days of code, I'm not gonna put that on the LinkedIn. I'm gonna put it on Twitter, and the reason why is because I don't want to keep bombard LinkedIn with my videos. But what I will do, right, I will share what I have learned on that particular day into the LinkedIn. Let's say, for example, day one, I learn about, let's say, if I'm learning React right now, I will say, I learned about props, states, links, conditionals and stuff. I will say, and then I will be a little bit more brief about what exactly I've learned and how can I, moving forward, how can I use that in a project, right? You want to do that in LinkedIn, but in Twitter, you can just post a video, say, hey, I'm coding right now. Look at me. I'm building some new stuff. That's something that you want to use. So long story short, and to summarize what I said is LinkedIn is for professional. You want to stay professional. You want to be professional. and you want to share something that is more professional. Twitter, you can either share professional things, or you can just literally rent on something, that you're finding some trouble, at a personal, not always say personal, but something that you have a grudge about someone, you have a something about something. Just share that, because people, end of the day, all they're gonna do is just retweet, like, and comment. But LinkedIn, you really don't want to do that. That's something I wanted to share.
Hmm. Great points, actually. Yeah, Axel, please go.
Yeah, that's a really great point about Udba. I think that was the point. The thing is, you have to think about where are recruiters or people that are offering jobs, where are they gonna search for jobs?
Tier 3 college, but the person is
Whoops.
Sorry,
Yeah, that's
John.
right.
am
Let
I
Axel finish first.
actually
Tanu, we will get back to you.
okay.
We will get back to you in a few minutes, okay?
Yeah, so yeah, where recruiters are mostly searching through LinkedIn. Not many recruiters are searching through Twitter. That said, there's a strategy that you should sort of apply when you're especially job hunting. So what Odba said is, at some point, like Twitter is more of a casual platform, although they have like in the future they want to incorporate some job searching thing as well. But it's more of a casual platform, right? You post your food, you post what you're doing, and LinkedIn should be more of a refined kind of thing. Like you want to show your best in LinkedIn. That said, if you are particularly looking for a job at some point in time, I would recommend also to be clean with your Twitter. And and the thing is, whatever you put in the internet stays in the internet, and there's Google. So if they Google your name and it happens that your most viewed or your most popular tweet tends to be a very controversial take on something, that might not be good for you, right? That might hurt you. So be careful, with what you do in Twitter as well. You don't have to be as careful as in LinkedIn because there's so many tweets and it's like hard to see them all. But yeah, if you're like on searching strategy, make sure you keep a clean image. Google yourself, right? What comes up when I Google my name, right? Like what comes up. Is it something good? Is it something bad? If you Google yourself and your first tweet is really bad, then delete that tweet, I guess. So yeah, those are recommendations. But for job search, the king of job search or the queen is LinkedIn. There's no competition with that. So yeah, with that, I pass it over to Raul. Hello, Raul.
Hey, a little bit late to the party, but just want to say something that I hear, and I'm 100% with you, Axel, on this one. Um, the measure that I try to use always is, especially with the internet, right? Any kind of social network, you have to be super careful because you never know. You publish Twitter out there, mocking about your company or mocking about corporate, and that could go viral, and that will be your first Twitter when someone looking for you on internet, right? I'm not saying that there are some things that have to be said and you can say it, but just being mindful of that. I'm 100% with you. And the other thing is that something that caught my attention because I'm feeling kind of the same that Opta mentioned. Oppa, did I say correctly? Sorry. um, it's about difference, right, between the two platforms. I feel like for Twitter, it's more like open to new ideas, right? Open to discussions, right? So you can take your idea right there and have interactions. Some of those interactions they are not good, but most of the time, right? Depending on your network, you will get good feedback or bad feedback or a temperature about your idea. Not the same on LinkedIn, right? On LinkedIn, it's more about accomplishments, right? And validation of your knowledge and your career, basically. That's what I noticed, right? And especially when you create content, it's totally different audience. The same people that react in a way on Twitter, they react totally different on LinkedIn. It's funny, right? But it is what it is, and it's because as you say before, LinkedIn is more like professional oriented, right? I feel like Twitter is more like you mentioned casual and more for interactions, right? Like main for interaction. I miss those interactions for LinkedIn, to be honest. Sometimes post an idea right there. I just want to have that discussion. I want to see what other professionals have in mind, and they don't interact. It's crazy. It's different. And then you throw it on Twitter, right? And it's automatically right out of the box. It's right there on fire. It's funny, but hope that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, I will just take my words actually. Yes, the interaction is more on Twitter than LinkedIn. That's true actually. The developers and their community are more interactive there on Twitter.
I think the guideline is like LinkedIn is, when you're writing something in LinkedIn, just visualize that your boss is right behind you, and whatever you're saying, your boss will know it too. And then in Twitter, it's gonna be like in the kitchen. They can still hear about it, but it's a little bit more hidden. So if you have that visual image, you kind of
Yeah,
know how to act in each platform.
love that
Yeah,
example.
but actually, Axel Hohen just said like, if you Google your name, if you see the controversy, I literally Googled my name. Really controversial post.
But
But
again, the front page test is the way to go on the internet, right? So don't put anything out there that you're not willing to defend if that things come in the front page of your it's like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's very dangerous.
I will share a experience, interesting story. This could be 10 years ago. I had a candidate, and her resume amazing. My first interaction, the phone screening was great, and I always do. Again, I'm talking about those Facebook days, Google, Facebook blog, right? Twitter probably was not that popular at that time, or not even LinkedIn. But I always do a search, Google search, and I did couple of keywords, her name and few other things, and then guess what? Lot of posts, lot of pages with F word and many other thing that this person looking for, um, always kind of looking for a fight or something, or making a statement. And guess what? I didn't go forward with the next round of interviews, and that's like 10 years ago. And now with even more stronger search, um, always remember it, like everyone has said here, what you post, your hiring manager and recruiter will see them. So would you say that in your interview? Yeah. If you feel comfortable, then yes, post. If not, then not a good idea if you're looking for the job.
The rule is, if you want job, don't discuss any controversial things on Twitter or
I mean, you
LinkedIn
can do
anywhere.
controversial thing, but the way you express yourself
Right.
is how you will express in your office, right? Um, I will share this at some point, but I'm going to say, so speaking to just that, right? Uh, when I was senior developer, I used to get really emotional about how we are designing a system, how we are coding, because in my mind, we should spend extra time to build something that has less maintenance. And I would go to even detail, such as how many manual data entry table that we should keep versus making them such that some admin person outside the development team can manage, right? So I used to have that conversation, but those was okay, right? Even though they are heated conversation, it's okay. uh, I know Pratish said controversial. These are not controversy, these are like debates. So okay, I will stop there. Agree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a huge difference between controversy and debate. Yeah, debate is good actually. I also debate is good. Debate around any topic, and if your response is you are doing response positively without any using any kind of nonsense words, but that
Yeah.
is good. But controversy is whole lot of another thing. Like nowadays are going on Twitter actually.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, you're
frustrating.
right. You're right. You made me realize. While I was speaking, I realized that. So, with that, let's go to Uttam.
Yeah, debate are good as long as you don't take it to the street, because then it will then it was not gonna look good. um, but one thing I'm gonna say is Pratyush brought something really good. He said about not a lot of people interact on LinkedIn. But one thing I noticed that if you putting any post and what linked how LinkedIn is worked and what based on my experience, LinkedIn works great on the SEO, right? So in order for you to, let's say you post something and you call it a day, you need to at least include a lot of like good um, like a hashtag, right? Something that you're targeting to. So if something that you're posting about JavaScript, you want to post any like you want to include a lot of keywords, like hashtags, a lot of hashtag like keywords, because what happened there's a lot of groups are made based on those hashtags. So what it does is like let's say you post something and you put like you build a website and you like say you build your first website, right? It's based on HTML, CS, and JavaScript. Now, don't just put HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but put a lot of things on it. Let's say, okay, accessibility, web design, UI, UX, different things. At least create like maybe 10 or 15 hashtag because LinkedIn is not limited to 280 characters, right? You can literally put the whole essay, and it will still be valid for the post. So try to put all those hashtags, and that actually will trigger for better interaction. But I still agree with Excel as well. Is be careful when you post a lot of things on Twitter. I mean, I don't know why we keep saying Twitter. The X now. So anything that you post, just be careful when you post anything on an X. Is because maybe you're following someone, maybe a YouTuber, maybe you're someone that you're following as a role model, right? Who happens to be in the same community as you are. Let's say, for example, take an example as Danny, right? I've been following Danny. I didn't know he was existed. So, but guess what? If I've been done on a Twitter about using all those, inappropriate words, what happened is like, okay, I'm playing myself really good on LinkedIn, but I'm using X as my like a casual tweet, right? Casual tweet. But guess what happened? He will see, he will gonna go, and then he was like, hey, this guy is something else in LinkedIn, and he's so thugging over here. So everyone should be watch out before you even tweet. Read it and then make sure that it makes sense before you even tweet. Because if you're targeting towards a community-based tweet, if you're just doing it, if you're not following anyone, and if you're just using Twitter as your life journey, I mean your life what do you call it, journal, then yeah, say whatever you want because at that point no one cares about what you're saying. Still, I will still watch out because you never know who's following you, who's retweeting your tweets, and then it might come across some bad, in the future.
Completely agree with you, but like I have seen like hashtags works a lot on LinkedIn, but not on Twitter actually. But yes, actually, and some of the thing you can control the algorithm of LinkedIn somehow by creating the content by using the right words, SEO friendly words. But seriously speaking, Twitter algorithm is so weird. I don't even cannot figure out which post went viral and which I literally posted some days ago my semester results and like at night around 3 a.m. I just posted it and I slept and when I got up like it's literally 50,000 views. Are you serious? And even 18, 90 people bookmarked it. Allah, what the hell is happening? Somebody is bookmarking my results. Are you kidding me? But yes, Twitter is so weird, man. So weird. I couldn't even figure out. I'm using it for 1 year now.
Wow. Wow. All right. We have somebody with us. Her name is Tanu. She's from Bhopal, and she's working on MMR Marin, I cannot pronounce it. A
Man,
text chat, and then you have wrote that you are DSA problem solver. I have never seen. I yet to see somebody who is enjoying DSA, and then this is your sixth day on 100 days of code. So I want to welcome you. And go ahead and ask your question. If your question is related to the first time job and all, I will help you through DM and all. Uh, um, but let's go ahead and tell about yourself and ask your question.
yeah, sure. Thank you, first of all. My question is regarding job search only, job hunting. The question I have is I'm not from a great college, like not a good college. So every time when I reach out to someone, I have this query whether the person is going to refer me or not. Is there any college-based criteria? Already, I'm doing good in like in DSA. I'm enjoying that also. So that is not a problem for me that I don't have good coding profiles. Right now, I don't have that much good. Within few months, I will build them. Like on CodeChef. Also, I'm doing good in development part. Like I'm doing projects on daily basis, updating here on Twitter. I'm maintaining my LinkedIn also. So my question is, should I continue doing coding like this, or should like as I don't have a good college, or I should go for like a gate or something to get a good college, like for higher studies?
That's a very tough question. I don't think I have a straight answer. I know, and again, what I will say may not be relevant in today's market. I have a journey where after my engineering, I didn't have a good college, and I was
Mhm.
failed during the college years. So it was completely messed up. I couldn't find a job. What worked for me is to getting the first job that was offered. It was marketing, and then really working hard for in CDEC, which is a computer course. And then once I got my first job, really working really hard. But I know the competition is like 10 times more than what it was 20 years ago. So may or may not work. My strategy may or may not work. But as we was talking specifically to connection, I honestly believe that there are people like Ravi who was here before, who would go out of the way and help other people. Uh, for you, it's almost like a funnel game where you really work hard. I don't believe, I mean, yes, adding more
Uh,
education can always help, but I would say that what you already have, you should be able to capitalize that. All you need is one job where you can really work hard for next a year or two, and once you have that, then things will change. So your goal, your number one need is that one job, whether it take a month or 6 months. I know Pratyush probably have more accurate and current situation, so I will give mic to him. But before that, yes, you wanted to say something. So go ahead, Tanu.
Yes, actually, I got a job in Chennai. I was like ready for relocation also, but as it was a startup, what I thought, as I mentioned, I have like I'm doing, I have started DSA, but I'm not that good now, and I haven't built my coding profiles. So I left that job, and what I planned that I should like firstly I should build my profiles. Then I will go for like a job, and I will spend almost I will gain experience of 1 and 2, and then I think I will be able to get benefit of my coding profiles in my next switch.
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I would continue with that Chennai job until I get the next job. What you
Mm-hmm.
learn on your job uh, can replace that with just studying. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I said that few a little earlier that your career is like 40 years. So um, it will take many turns. So I always believe that instead of sitting at home, you work and do what the job that you have in your hand, and your journey will completely change once you have the really solid foundation for first 2 3 year of experience.
Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Pratyush, you have something to add, right?
Yeah, just a couple of points. Like, if you are some like asking for the job and DM you someone, and he or she is asking you for what which college you are from, just ignore him straight away. For sure. If he is not asking for your skills or your profiles, and he is rather asking which college you are from, are you from IITs, are you from UNITs, just straight away ignore them and go to another one. Just message them. Number two is, if you want to do masters to get a job, I don't think you should do it. If you want to do higher studies, if you want to go ahead, yeah, that's the thing is a little bit of controversial. You can do that also for the job, but mostly nowadays scenario, and I should suggest, if your main aim is to don't do it, go for the masters right now. But if you want to do higher studies and more, you can go for it. So just try to build your profile. And number 3 point, you were telling that you were learning and simultaneously sharing all your things, learning things on over
Right.
LinkedIn and Twitter.
On LinkedIn.
That's actually good thing. Actually, you are doing learning in public, and Excel told sometimes ago. Actually, it helps because when you are sharing what you are learning, no matter whoever seeing it, whoever liking my post, doesn't matter at all. Just share what you are learning in the long time, and it takes time. It will help somehow. When you are after 6 months after learning, when you are doing, and if somebody like saw your profile, that yes, you are learning and simultaneously sharing, that gives you a sweet impression, poetic impression.
Mhm.
That's a couple of points.
Yeah. Thank you a lot.
Right. Thanks, Pratyush, and thanks, Tanu. 4:45. Let let's go to the last section segment, and then let's wrap it up. Welcome everyone who have joined. We are talking about a junior developer with 2 to 3 of experience, how they can use the networking to double their income, increase their chances, and move up to the chain. One thing that I would like to clarify, I have been using this word W earning, but I have to use something, right? I know there are more than one driving factor for different people. Some people go for their driving factor is a bigger role. Some people driving factor is a bigger company, which is what my driving factor was when I was in my initial career. And then some people go for higher paycheck, and then some people go for aligning their values with the company value. So there are many drivers, but I I use one of them, which is very close to what I feel like happens as an outcome is your W earning when you start your career. Changing a job after 2 3 years can give you that kind of result. So that's what I said. But I also understand that different people have different driving factors. So whatever aligned to you, use that. And then here we talk about one more thing. I'm doing this series. It started last week about and then I covered the researching of job market and is how to work on your skill set. That was last week. This week is networking. Come back next week for another section, a segment where we will be talking about how to prepare for interview, how to create all your stories that you can talk about in the interview. I call them FAQ document that you can prepare prior to your interview and all. So we'll talk about that next time. Let's bring this particular space to the closer. In this space, we talk about three type of people to connect with: recruiter, hiring manager, and developers. And then there are many platforms where you can build this. LinkedIn is just one of them. You can do exact same thing with Twitter, some other platform. You can do in person with or virtual event. There are courses that you will join where you can find people and connect with them. Then Discord communities out there, 100 Dev, of which Tanu is doing open source community. So there are many places where you can do apply the same thing. And then we talk about like, comment, DMs, and then finally let's bring this to the closer. Our discussion was around how you can use these techniques, networking, to get a job interview, get a new high paying job. So the you can build your connection for, well, I would phrase it this way. So the outcome for this networking is what we're looking for. Can give you a referral, information about a job opening in your company, in or sorry, in the company that you're interested in, or can help you in applying for a job in a certain company or different places, right? So the outcome that you can gain from this is, let's say you build a relationship, you build a connection with another developer in another company, let's say Workday, which is a great company, always hiring, growing, expanding, and you have a developer, and then this person tell you, hey, I just find out that we have new opening, and then you may want to look for it, you may want to apply for it. This person is even open to help you with the referral. So how good that could be, right? That's a perfect dream outcome that you can get. Similarly, there's a hiring manager, there is a recruiter, you have a connection, and they are telling you, hey, I have a match for you, and you're applying. In most of these cases, uh, Dave, I just saw that message. In most of these cases where otherwise you will go through multiple channel. There was a discussion last week about these software which scan your application. By doing all the thing that we have spoken today can help you skipping those automatic software, or getting you to the interview in front of the interview panel. So your goal is, with all these events, is one, yes, build a true relationship, build your network, and then number two is to get the help you need from the job search perspective. Again, you start this when you made up your mind of searching for a job, right? You have done your market research, you have identified some of the things that you will be working on. It might take a couple of months for you to do that, and that's an ideal time when you start building your network with an expectation that these network will help you in your study, your growth, and all, but also with gaining your information from whatever new job opening is out there, and then help with the application process, helping you to get your interview, and then finally, uh, best case scenario, you're not only getting this but also getting a referral. And many companies, if you get a referral from an employee, you immediately get an interview, right? You already have vibe going for you. So all that great advantage. um, I see two hands up, so we'll go to Uttab and then Excel Jedi.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm about to like head out now. But thank you so much, Vinod, again for creating this space. You know, for junior developer, for people who's starting up. Looking forward to your next space next week, hopefully. So, yeah, again, to for the closing point, just do three things. Make sure your LinkedIn is catered 100% according to what you're doing. Make sure you involve a lot in LinkedIn, more than Twitter, because that's where all the professionals are. So anything that you do, anything that you have done, make sure you post there. Also, be who you are. Don't be like robotic where you're just gonna go ahead and then just like and just be who you are. You know, talk to people. You know, share some valuable information in LinkedIn. Whatever you have achieved, share that. And then also in Twitter, make sure you follow some people that you admire. Notice, and then create a community where you actually feels like you are gaining a lot of value, right? But that being said, shout out to everyone in the speaker section. If you find a lot of value out of this space, go ahead and follow everyone on the speaker section, because they dedicated their time to provide some valuable information to y'all. So and everyone in the listener section, thank you so much for joining in. Shout out to follow Vinod, because he is dedicating his valuable time to provide a lot of valuable knowledge to y'all. So, with that being said, I'm gonna head out. Thank you, everyone. It was nice talking to you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, Uttab, for staying with us, joining us, and sharing all the input that you have shared. Thank you. With that, we will go to Excel Front End Jedi.
Yeah, thank you, Enoch. I just have a little bit of advice, 3 points specifically to give to people who are starting out. Because I've been here in the space for a while and I've never really heard people talk about it. The first one is I want to address something Tanu said. Please forgive me if I got it wrong. But I think you said you quit your job to focus on tech. Personally, I don't think it's a good idea to quit your job to start into tech, because tech is a very, very expensive space. You have to pay for courses, get materials, download a lot of applications and resources. So quitting your job to start to go into tech is not really advisable. What you should do instead is dedicate time, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours of out of 24 hours in a day to do something, to learn a particular skill in tech instead of quitting your job. I think it's more lucrative because you have to be able to take care of yourself financially because the tech space already has a lot of stress inside of it. The beginning is usually very stressful. It requires a lot. So it is not a good idea to quit your job before you go into tech. Secondly, when starting out, I had a bit of a problem because I didn't really have advice from people, and that is I had just one email address. And this was the same email I used to sign up for all these little resources and things like Twitter, front end mentor, all those subscriptions. And at 2021 is when I started applying for jobs. And I missed two very important job openings because I was receiving too many promotional emails on my email address. So I could not filter out which was important and which was not important because in a day I was receiving up to 40 emails from different subscriptions. So it became very cumbersome. It became very hard for me to be able to distinguish, for me to even keep up with the emails I was receiving. And because of that, I lost two very important job openings in 2021. Now, the last point I want to make is that there are a lot of advice from senior developers that if you want to apply to jobs, build something, you have to build something that stands out. What I want to say is that you don't necessarily have to be the only one who builds something that stands out. You can collaborate with people that are already in the space. Collaborate with people who are a little bit better than you, or even extremely better than you. You don't have to come up with ideas yourself. You can collaborate with people so that when you are applying, you also have something to show that okay, I collaborated on this. Thank God, the world of open source is now very easy to explore compared to previous years when it was a little bit complex because there were no resources specifically where you could go and learn how to go into open source. But nowadays it is free, it is easy. You just search anything you want to search and it's on the internet. So what I'm trying to say is one, get yourself a work email, a place where you'll be receiving job related updates only and maybe also other important updates. Then you can have a separate email for normal subscriptions which you'll be doing as you progress. Two, your idea or whatever you want to use to show in your resume does not have to be uniquely yours. It can be a contribution to an open source or something you did with other developers. And lastly, please, except you are financially stable, don't quit your job to go into tech. It is very, very tasking and it requires you to be buoyant financially when you're doing it. Thank you very much.
Great advice. Great advice, Jedi, Excel Jedi. You mentioned a couple of things, and I said the same thing to Tanu that if I were you, I would have continued the Chennai job, then quitting. But I think she probably don't have the financial, uh, at least at this time. I'm assuming. But anyway, point is good. Getting into tech can be a longer journey, so take time. Sorry, learn and then switch. 100% agree. And then you made another point, which is tremendous, that when you do the job searching and all, have a separate email. And I'm sorry that you lost two opportunities because of that, but it's great learning and great advice to everyone that use a separate email for that on your resume, on your a notification, job notification. And then final thing that you said about you can share other project that you just contributed, you made a contribution. So I would add some point there. When you do that, yes, 100% agree, absolutely, you have made a contribution. But whatever you're saying there, be able to defend that and be able to tell the story that what is your contribution to that project and why this is matters, why that is significant and things like that. But yeah, and what we discussed last time, and by the way, I just posted a recording. I translated this space recording from last week and uploaded that to YouTube, and I have just shared that link in the comment section. So I highly recommend, if you have time, listen that. And one of the things that we talk about there, did I, that when you're talking about a project in your interview, understand that coding is just 30%. If you can explain that why project matters, why you selected a technology that you selected, how did you come up with ideas, how did you navigate it through the original requirement to breaking it into pieces, and your contribution and all, those things matter. And to your point, whether you have built the project, entire project yourself, or you have built with someone, regardless, your contribution, if you can share the story, share the highlights, share the reasoning, especially around different decisions and all that, that makes an impact in your interview. So great advice. Thank you so much for sharing. And with that, we'll go to Dazibal. Thank you for finally speaking. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Thank you, sir.
Thanks to you. But my apology. I know that you have invited me to previous space, but sometimes my time is limited and it's sometimes complicated. But I made myself the purpose that I'm gonna participate today with you guys. So thank you. Yeah. In particular, my comments are with related with the Excel. Call to my attention that he mentioned in the case for the email, and that made me remind my wife because she has her email inbox full of messages, like 1,000 messages on read every day, and definitely for her. The best option is like having a separate email for the company that she's creating on this day and is working on. However, for me, I find really hard to keep two inbox. Because it's not only two; it's like three, sometimes four. Because every company you work for create for you an email. So every company that you have giving some consulting is trying to give you a particular email. So in my case, the first I do is like go to setting and forward all the emails to my personal email. And in particular, I put time case on cleaning the inbox, every day, every moment. If I don't want a particular email, I take care to subscribe as first option. If not, mark and as a spam. But the advice is really good if you think that you are not able to handle only one email inbox, like my wife, but it's not. So it's a matter of dedication. Of course, the first week, probably you spend a lot of time trying to clean, trying to create filters to move particular email to a folder, like I don't know, maybe orders like Amazon, Walmart, whatever. But at the end, you are happy with you will happy with the result. So I'm able to do it, and my folder, my inbox is pretty clean. Related to some advice, Axel, no, Axel, no, they not mentioned it like 30 minutes ago, something related with the profile in LinkedIn. And yes, I agree 100%. You need to take care of every detail on LinkedIn, every detail, because in my I do the same one like Binod does. It's like every time, for example, if I have an interview on the interviewer side, the first that I do once I get the name of who is the people that is going to interview me is like check the profile of every person in the interview. I have work for documentation. I visit the website, everything that I have, the history of that person, how many words he have on his life, how that person get promoted, how technical that person is, how is his technical level, because you need to know who is in front of you. You need to know how is a vocabulary or the type of word that you have to use with that person. You need to know how to create empathy. Empathy with that person. That is crucial in an interview. The first, how you say, the first opinion that you can create or for that person, for you, in that person from you is critical. It's really important. It's like any real human relation. You need to take care to try to cause a good impression, first impression on that person. So anything that you have and on that person, anything, that small detail would be very helpful. One simple example: when one of my past company that I was working with Raul, we worked together for probably 7-8 years, and that company have a massive layoff, and we have to look for a new one. One of the things that like potentiate or uh, made me to get in front of everybody if like the person like doing that interview studied in the same university as me in the past. So that was like, oh, those the boss of that company trust on that guy, was the architect in that company, and immediately that was a point in my favor, because they was trusting in that university automatically. And no, that's it, was an example. In my last in the company that I'm already working, that I started like already 3 months and a half ago, it's like pretty much the same. I detected that the guy that was making me the interview was in contact with an engineering that director of the company that I mentioned before, that where I work with Raul, and immediately that turn on my life, and I try to contact all the people in contact with that person. Of course, that I get some immediately reference or referral, and everything was a happy ending for that work. So anything that you have in your resume on LinkedIn, anything that can help you, so dedicate time to do it. Take care of every detail, every word. Try to be concise. Do not write 100 words or write hundred of words. If you can make the same idea with only 10, facilitate others to read your information in the best and easy way. So yeah, basically, it's like support the idea of buying an accident to send. So thank you for any question that you have. So
Man, you saved all these golden nugget for the last. Amazing advice. Uh, and I really like this. This one, everybody note this one. Um, what Decibel just said, that before the interview, you have the calendar invite. In that calendar invite, you have the people who will be in the interview panel. Decibel will go and research on them on LinkedIn or any other network to know them. And you use the word empathy, which is kind of, I don't know how many people fully understand what this mean, but that mean you're knowing this person and this person emotions. Um, and you're taking that information in the interview. Now, tell me how many people who are here even research the company and go to their company website to understand what this company does and what team that they will be working and why this company or team or product exists, right? People don't even do that kind of take that kind of effort, but do that, and on top of that, follow what Decibel just said around understanding the people who will be interviewing you. So great advice, great advice,
thank you.
and welcome, Aman. Yes, go for it.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome. Good to see you, Axel. It's been a while. Good to see you, Predis. No, I 100% agree. One of the things that I've personally, experienced in a lot of interviews is most of the time, if you're interviewing for a high-profile job, So in finance, it's usually recommended to look up the people you're going to be interviewing with. I'll tell you this: nobody likes more than to hear about their, the things they have achieved. So, for example, if you're interviewing with a hedge fund manager, right? And if you tell the hedge fund manager, right, like for example, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the finance world. There's a Aladdin, finance department that has been moved over to BlackRock recently. The individuals who used to run that department used to work for Citadel before. So I personally witnessed, like, some of these hedge fund managers have made, big names in the industry for making, high risk ETF based, Bitcoin based, or crypto based hedge funds, right? So when you research these people, like, how did they make their money? For example, some of them might have made their money in finance, but some of them have been working in, air defense, or national research and things like that, right? And when you look up these people, it gives you an insight on who you're going to be dealing with. What is this forte? What are the things that this one specific individual has been working with predominantly for the last few years? And if you talk to these people about the things that they love to do, chances are not only would you land that job, but also you would have a really good conversation. So, for example, if I'm a HFT developer, like I've worked on FPGAs, right? If I interview for a job, it's expected that in technical department they're only going to be asking me about HFTs and what I've been working with in finance for a while, right? But then you don't get an opportunity to interview them, because remember, the interview is not always you being interviewed. You're also interviewing the employer. You want to make sure that the place you're going to be working at, is it something that would be conducive for you in the next coming 10 years, right? uh, Granted, like, people who try to get into the entry level jobs, they think that, hey man, I just want a job, right? um, Sometimes it's imperative that you might land up with a couple of different opportunities, and you wouldn't really know if you want to join the company unless you actually talk to these people about things they love to do, and gives you a better idea, if this is a company for you or not. Just wanted to add that.
Wow, thank you. You you went ahead and did a thorough research of the background as well, which is amazing. Which I get, it may take some time, but at the same time, the value it will bring in the conversation is humongous. And I still remember that I was taking this one interview, and then the candidate not only went through the website, my company website, like organization website, he also knew at that point that I write on Medium and then I have a YouTube channel. It immediately made some kind of connection. So it does work. That's all I'm trying to say. Yes, Decibel.
Um, yep. One more advice related to is how to organize your interview. When you are actively looking for interviews, you used to receive a lot of requests, and you know that the process is not only one interview; it's like one, two, three, four, in most cases. So it's really hard to keep track of anything that you have spoken with a particular company or a particular guy. So what I do is my advice. I keep a log, detailed log of everything that I have talk with those guys, who I spoke with, what is their position, any interesting topic that we talk about it, and and so on each phase in each interview of the process. I take care of documenting that how it's well, how went well, how what I can do better for the next one, and this is very helpful because you won't remember not even what you talk with a particular person in the first interview. And it's really uncomfortable, like the person mentioning something to you that you talk in the first interview and you don't remember, and it's complicated, I know, because sometimes when you are, as I say, when you are actively looking, it's like, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, in some case you can have like 10 different open threads or path or interviews with different companies, and it's hard to keep the trace of the loss that we have. But you need to take care, and just at the right moment that you finish the interview, you take your note what you did well, what is if you want to mention in the next interview something in particular, and if you did something bad or not pretty much the best, so what you can do better for the next one. And doing that maybe it's not helpful for the same company, but for sure you are going to use that knowledge for the next one, for the next company in your career. It's a funny fact. For example, I was looking for job around November, between November and December, and I in different companies, like 3 or 4, there were like 3 particular questions among hundreds that you don't have. For my case, I don't have the answer. And of course, I took note of the question, I review. So you know what? In the job that I already have, those same 3 questions was part of the interview. Of course, I my performance was really good, and I got the job. So don't forget, take note of what you can do, because that will save your life or your next interview for sure. This is the advice.
Thank you. That was really good point. I have a follow-up question. What do you use for notes? Are you physical notebook or some kind of application?
Really, what I use is just the same Outlook calendar. For example, because we have to organize sometime in the same week when you are actively looking, you have like 5, 6, 10 interview. So I in the same invitation, very important, make a copy of that invitation. Never write on the invitation, because that is shared with the others. I create my copy of that invitation, and I used to put all the details in the in the same entry of the calendar. Once that I got a second step on the second interview, I used that same mm, mm, entry, or that same copy, and move that to the next invitation, to the next day, and so on. It's like, and keeping the trace on the same one until the last day. But you can use also whatever you feel more comfortable using.
Thank you. Thank you. That's interesting, really interesting, and that allow you to actually remember all the interviews, date, who, and the notes at one single place. So amazing.
Yeah, because it's crazy. It used to could be really, really crazy. The number of the person, because imagine, like, 1 or 2 in the first interview, 2 more, and when you finish, when you go for the third or fourth step, that is like you need to keep trace, or probably between 5 and 8 person. Imagine multiply that one for uh, mm, 8. So it's crazy. So you definitely needed to take care of your documentation.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And Lawrence, welcome to the space. I'm delighted that you joined. Thank you. Also, Ali, your profile picture is so cute. I probably have clicked on your profile picture at least 3 different times, and I see that you're doing your 100 days of code second time. Um, Great. I just thank you for being here in this space. I hope that we have provided a lot of value to everyone who is here. Um, Everyone, we wrap up, right? What do you think? We start wrapping it up. It's been almost 4.5 hours now.
Yeah, it's been a while actually.
All right, so let's do that. Uh, let's wrap it up. I have quick summary. I'm doing these spaces. I started it last week we had this is about how a junior developer with 2 to 3 of experience can get to a higher paying job. There are strategies that you can apply. In my when I started my journey, I did it 4 times, every time to double my earning, and I followed different strategies for that. So it last week we cover, when you have this 2 to 3 experience, you have a very solid foundation, and then you start with doing a market research to understand what's happening in the market, what are the technologies that are going on, and what type of roles are in demand, and what matches to what you already have. Based on that, you pick two things, and then you work on that skill framework, um, language, or building a portfolio project for a couple of months. While you're doing that, you start networking. That's what we covered this week. The previous two topics we covered last week. I converted that space into a YouTube video, and then posted it, so it's always there, not expire in 30 days. And I have added the link. So if you have time, I highly recommend going through that. We had a really good discussion around uh, those strategies, as well as a very long discussion around how to do a portfolio project, and all that kind of thing. Today's space was all around networking and how to use that for your job search, how to use that for getting a higher paying job. We will continue next week, where we will talk about how to prepare for interview. I call it creating your story FAQ document, where you list down all the project that you have done, list down all the difficult situation that you have faced, and then once you have that data dump, you're translating that into a story that you can tell in different interviews. And I have used that in my job interviews, really going deep around not only talking about the technical aspect, coding aspect, but all about all different decisions, why we made those decisions, what was my role in those, and all around that. So 30% coding, 70% other stuff. So we'll talk about all that, and this conversation will continue. I want to thank my co-host, Excel. Thank you so much. You being here for this time means a lot, and I don't know how to express my gratitude toward you. So thank you so much, Pratyush. Always fun talking to you. Always fun joining any space with you. So thank you, Rahul. It's been a long friendship, and like this entire space, Rahul and I started talking first time because he and I would join the same space, and I would see Rahul. So after seeing him in third space in the listener section, right? We're sitting there in the listener section, and I sent him a message. He replied, and maybe he sent a message, and I replied, and it was like 6 8 months ago, and since then we have been talking. We've been in touch. So that's how it works. And Raul and my friendship is that Decibel, we have been in a couple of space together. Um, and Tim, story that you shared, your story, the powerful story of how you navigated within your organization to a project management cyber security role, it's inspiring. So, Aman, thank you. Excel, thank you. And everyone who is here, I really want to show my gratitude toward your presence, your time, and I hope you got a lot of value from this. Please come back again next week. I will post this as a YouTube video, and I will share the link probably by tomorrow. So we will have that. Um, um, one more thing. One second. One second. Shoot, I had one more thing, but okay. All right. So with that, I will hand over mic to Excel. Excel, mic to you.
Absolutely, excellent. Yeah.
You, sorry, sorry, my pronunciation.
No, it's fine. I'm confused myself because yeah. Is it me?
It is you. It is
All
you.
right, great, great,
Right.
good. No, thank you very much, Vinod, for the opportunity to like co-host this space. It has been a great space. Lots of great speakers. Lots of people listening in the background. Make sure next time to grab the mic, ask some questions, share your journey because yeah, we always like to hear what has been your journey, especially if you have been in a job for a couple of years. But if you're searching as well, just make sure to come next time. I'm really looking forward for that next space. And yeah, thank you, Vina, for hosting, and thank you for all the speakers as well.
Most welcome. Thank you. Pratyush?
Uh, Thanks a lot, Vinod, for hosting this amazing space. There's a lot of amazing speakers today. I got to learn. I think I'm the youngest person in this space. I got to learn a lot from all of you every time I just join the spaces. It's seriously, it's amazing. And also shout out to many all the speakers. Also, I can see Disbel, I can see Rahul, I can see Timo, Frankie, Ellie, I can see Kusi also. And also saw that Santos was joined for a while. Yeah, thanks a lot everyone for joining. Make sure you can come up as a speaker next time. Yeah, and follow Vinod, follow and other speakers and the listeners. Shout out to all the listeners. Sorry, I couldn't take all the names, but shout out to you all. Thanks a lot for joining. It's really a valuable spaces. Keep joining.
Yeah. Kazi is with an elephant. Um, Rahul, um, Rahul, do you have a closing?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Um, it's always a pleasure to share some space with you guys. Really grateful. I joined later to the party, but still a lot of fun. So see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Your presence means a lot to us. Amal, Decibel, Excel, please feel free to share your closing remarks.
No, nothing in particular. I just appreciate the opportunity and the work that you are doing in those spaces. For sure, it's for sure really helpful for a lot of people. So just say thank you for the opportunity to join this awesome space.
Yeah, I just wanted to add thank you, Vinod, for hosting these spaces regularly. I think it's helping a lot of people, and I feel like it also brings a lot of people together. We normally wouldn't be talking about such stuff, and we normally wouldn't be sharing experiences. But thanks to people like yourself, Axel, Pratyush, I think it's amazing, right? And Axel, I read your tweets about Ox Hero. We truly do miss him. He was amazing, and I wish he comes back. There was so many things I learned from him, specifically like how even without a computer science degree, his experience and his electronics experience and the embedded work that he did truly inspired us all. So I hope he's safe. I hope he's happy. Sometimes you just gotta take a break from social media. And I feel like it's one of those times, and I feel like as long as he's happy, we still have his GitHubs. Though it's in archive mode, we can still read his code, and we can learn from that. Yeah, thank you for raising up your voice for him. Thank you for bringing everybody to his GitHub repo. They might not have even seen it before, but now they have. So that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I always say the reason why I grab the mic when I'm in spaces like this is because I feel I learn more than I contribute. So I try to contribute a little whenever I'm in places like this. So thank you very much, Vinod, and the co-hosts. People have taught me a lot, and I mean a lot. I've listened, I have learned, I have taken so many advices. So thank you very much, and I hope to be in spaces like this in the future. And also, I hope to host impactful spaces like this too. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. But before you go, please turn your right and left and follow the person. Send them a DM. We talk about all that. I even gave you the script. So have at least two conversation with the fellow listener or speaker. I respond to each and every DM that I get. That's a very good thing with people who do not have like 2000 or sorry 2000 200,000 following that you can get their attention. So again, send a meaningful message with your introduction, your question, and the outcome that you're looking for, and start building the connection. Follow people who are in the stage. Follow my co-host Excel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this time right or not.
It's fine. It's fine. You pronounced it right. It was just me. It's Axel. Yeah, it's fine.
Axel. It's my, as I was sharing that in 2006, I was so conscious about my pronunciation, my grammar that I stopped writing. So I know, but working on it, it's a thick accent. And thank you so much, Pratyush. Follow him. He's just 21-year old. You can just imagine how what he will be in many years from now. Rahul, Amal, everyone, thank you so much. Please follow all these great people so that your feed will be excellent. They're also in LinkedIn, so you feel free to follow in there as well. So with that, goodbye for now. See you all of you next week, 1 o'clock Eastern, Sunday. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.